the Almighty Pokémon Master. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 226, A Fierce Battle with the Cunning Tengu. When enemies meet, their eyes turn red with envy. Nangangyeo and Cunning Tengu can be said to be enemies. For Nangangyeo, it is the hatred of almost dying at the hands of Cunning Tengu. And for Cunning Tengu, it is the hatred of destroying the tribe it protects. Seeing Cunning Tengu and Long Nose Leaf flying on the ground, the anger in Cunning Tengu's heart burned even more vigorously. These elves are its descendants, and have blood ties with it. Now they are lying on the ground. Judging from their appearance, they are either seriously injured or dead. Xingyun, do you still want to go? This Cunning Tengu is very angry. He may be crazy when fighting later. Nangangyeo asked Zhang Xingyun telepathically. It's okay. This is better. It can train the giant mantis and the others. Leave it to me first. You stay by the side and help me if I'm in danger. No problem. Okay, I'll do it then. The main force of the giant mantis, Nidoking, take the lead. Pidgeot, get ready. Flora, Electabuzz, go. After communicating with Nangangyeo, he gave instructions to the 5 elves. Zhang Xingyun wanted to see what it would be like if his 5 elves, which he had carefully cultivated, fought against a qua-seeking level elf. The 5 of them were Zhang Xingyun's most elite force at present, and now there was just a reference target. I believe that the angry Cunning Tengu will not hold back, and the actual combat effect will surely be very good. The giant mantis took the lead and rushed up first. He fought with the angry Cunning Tengu, and his fists collided with a muffled sound, and the giant mantis retreated back. The claws trembled a little. Bang! A small pit appeared where the giant mantis was standing. It was the rock-crushing move of the Cunning Tengu. Whoosh, whoosh, a large number of green leaves swept towards the giant mantis, crushing rocks and cutting trees, rushing towards the giant mantis like a rotating drill. At this time, the Cunning Tengu's leaf storm move, with the strength of the Cunning Tengu, was displayed with great power. Hassan the giant mantis dodged with its agility and retreated to the side. Giant mantis, destroy the death ray, then Nidoking will take the top, and Pidgeot will attack fiercely. Hassan whoosh, a powerful destruction death ray dispersed the insufficient power of the leaf storm, and continued to hit the Cunning Tengu. The Cunning Tengu's speed in the forest was not slow, and he moved his body to avoid the destruction death ray. Boom. The destruction death ray of the giant mantis pushed a small groove where the Cunning Tengu had just stood, and hot smoke was still coming out. It takes time for the giant mantis to emit a destructive death ray, and the Cunning Tengu also knows this. It uses the trees to jump and quickly approaches the giant mantis, trying to deal with it. But Nidoking appeared in front of the giant mantis, and the cold thorn skill instantly condensed and shot out. The purpose was not to hit the Cunning Tengu, but to block its movement. Pidgeot also swooped down from the sky, wrapped in an energy coat, aiming at the Cunning Tengu and swooping down. Seeing the Pidgeot falling from the sky, the Cunning Tengu did not panic. With a palm that glowed, it smashed the cold thorns that attacked, and then jumped up and collided with Pidgeot's brave bird. After a few seconds of stalemate, Pidgeot's energy coat was exhausted, and he was hit by the Cunning Tengu and flew back. Fortunately, he had a deep foundation, and adjusted in time, and did not fall to the ground. Taking this opportunity, the Cunning Tengu used the flying leaf knife, and shot it at the adjusting Pidgeot at a high speed. Pidgeot knew that it couldn't avoid the flying leaf blade in its current state, so after using the air blade, its wings glowed like steel, showing the steel wings skill. Crossing in front of it for defense. Ding ding. Pidgeot staggered after being hit and landed on a big tree, its wings trembling a little. The flying leaf blade of the Cunning Tengu was quite powerful. If it hadn't reacted quickly, it wouldn't be like this. Sure enough, there is still a certain distance between the early elite and the early qua-seeking, but after suffering a flying leaf blade from the Cunning Tengu, its wings were numb. The Cunning Tengu slashed horizontally and dispersed Nidoking's jet of flames. When it was about to make a move, the giant claw mantis also rushed out from the side. In this battle, Electabuzz and Flowery Leaf were just helping out on the side, mainly to accumulate experience. As for Squirtle and the others, they were not allowed to come out, fearing that they could not be taken care of, and they were still relatively weak. How is Xingyun? Do you want to continue fighting? Nangangyeo asked. Well, it's still early. I'll fight for a while. I think the strength of the giant claws mantis is more than that. Last time, it was a distraction, but this time it's a head-on confrontation. This is normal. Zhang Xingyun said that he would fight for a while, then looked at the battlefield and commanded. This hard battle can stimulate the potential of the elves. Like last time, it is not of much reference value. On the field, the cunning Tengu is worthy of being a qua-seeking elf. He fought 1 against 5, and did not lose the upper hand. Under the attack of the cunning Tengu, Nidoking and Giant Claws Mantis were injured, while Floret and Galaxy were not attacked. The cunning Tengu also has its wisdom. It knows that the important thing is to deal with the Giant Claws Mantis, and Nidoking in front of it, as well as Pidgeot. Electabuzz and Floret are not a concern. Naturally, the focus of the attack is to take care of Nidoking and Giant Claws Mantis. Pidgeot has the advantage of flying. After it recovers, it is more difficult to attack it. Nidoking is different from the Giant Claw Mantis. The Giant Claw Mantis wants to fight it head on, and Nidoking is big, so its dodging speed is naturally a little slower. Boom boom boom. Time passed by minute, and the battle continued. Now Nidoking and his team were all injured, and so was the cunning Tengu. The place where the battle took place has been completely changed. There are large and small pits on the ground, still emitting hot smoke, and all the big trees around have fallen, indicating the intensity of the battle. It seems that with the current strength of the 5 elves, at most they can compete but not defeat. We have to work harder. Zhang Xingyun witnessed the whole process, and came to a conclusion. At this point in the battle, with the current 5 elves joining forces, Zhang Xingyun also knew that it was impossible to defeat the qua-seeking cunning Tengu, and he could only compete. That is to say, if he encounters a qua-seeking level elf attack in the wild now, he doesn't need to panic, because he has the ability to resist. Like now, the battle has lasted for half an hour, which is proof. In the wild, Zhang Xingyun would retreat if this happened, and the elves would also retreat, because no one could defeat the other, and it would just be a waste of time. Not only humans would weigh the pros and cons, but elves would also do so. Elves that can grow to the level of qua-seekings cannot be fools. The reason they don't retreat is because they have a big grudge. Like the cunning Tengu now, it's because of a big grudge that he hasn't retreated until now, and has been fighting with the giant mantis. Chapter 227. Joining forces to fight. Since it's like this, let me join you. I'll let Tanabata, Desert Dragonfly and Gardevoir go up. Seeing the battle on the field, Nangangyeo could see that with the power of the 5 Pokémon of Mantis, it was impossible to defeat cunning Tengu, so she spoke. Okay, with the combat power of your 3 elite level Pokémon, the probability of defeating it is very high, but you have to be careful not to let it run away. Zhang Xingyun stared at the fighting Pokémon and said, okay, you can withdraw Flowery and Electric Beast, and let my Pokémon take over. This time, the 2 of us can defeat the qua-seeking Pokémon with elite Pokémon together, which is also very powerful. Okay. Zhang Xingyun mentioned to Electric Beast through telepathy, asking them to be prepared. After receiving a response, the figures of Flowery and Electric Beast disappeared on the battlefield, and appeared beside him. This time, Electric Beast did not raise any opinions on the callback, because it also knew its approximate strength. Perhaps the existence of it and Flowery would hinder the battle rhythm of Nidoking and others. Desert Dragonfly, Gardevoir, Tanabata Bluebird, go ahead. Yo Gardevoir Chew. After the 3 elite level combat forces joined, they suppressed the cunning Tengu. Tanabata Bluebird has been promoted to an elite level Pokémon and cooperated with Pidgeot to attack cunning Tengu in the sky. The strength of the Desert Dragonfly is at the peak of the elite, about the same as that of the giant claw mantis after being possessed. Thanks to the breakthrough of Zhang Xingyun's own ability, his spirit possession technique now lasts longer and has a greater increase in strength. Up to now, the effect of the spirit possession technique on the giant claw mantis is still there, but it is a little weaker than at the beginning. Gardevoir's Fairy Wind, Tanabata Bluebird's Divine Bird, Desert Dragonfly's Dragon God Dive, Giant Claw Mantis's Alloy Claw, Nidoking's Destruction Death Beam, Pidgeot's Brave Bird. They are all some powerful moves, attacking the cunning Tengu endlessly. Bang! Facing these fierce attacks, the cunning Tengu was repelled to the side. After taking a deep breath, he thought of the dead and injured tribesmen. His eyes were red, and he rushed forward again with strength from nowhere. During the battle, 2 elite elves, Mantis and Desert Dragonfly, resisted the attack of the cunning Tengu head-on, and several elite elves such as Nidoking assisted in the attack. As the battle continued, the injuries on the cunning Tengu became more and more serious. Although the injuries left by Nidoking on the cunning Tengu were small, they could play a big role if they were repeated many times. Originally, the 5 elves such as Mantis could compete with it. Now that Flower Leaf and Electric Shock Beast have retreated, they have been replaced by more powerful elves such as Desert Dragonfly, which tilted the balance of victory towards Zhang Xingyun. The cunning Tengu was wrapped in a green tornado around his body and swept out. Mantis and others were swept in. From the leaf tornado, there was a very loud battle sound. Seeing this, Pidgeot and Tanabata Bluebird also used their flying energy to rush in and help their partners. A few Nidokings were on the side, firing skills to provide support from the outside. Boom. The green tornado broke apart, setting off waves of air, and the giant claw mantis also flew out from it, looking seriously injured. The cunning Tengu also rushed out from it, slapped Pidgeot and Tanabata Bluebird away, and attacked Nidoking. Its target is Nidoking. Everyone pay attention. Nidoking, show your strength. Zhang Xingyun shouted. Seeing the sudden performance of the cunning Tengu, Zhang Xingyun knew that the cunning was going to fight to the death. Now it was considered its explosive species. As long as he held on, the cunning Tengu would definitely die. But this process is more dangerous. Just like now, the cunning Tengu has set his sights on the slow-moving Nidoking and took this opportunity to quickly approach. Hassan the giant claw mantis folded its figure and appeared halfway where the cunning Tengu appeared, but was slapped away by the crazy cunning Tengu and rushed straight to Nidoking. Nidoking, Rock Armor Fusion. It can be regarded as the use of a move which is unique to this novel and not found in Pokémon. There were many sharp stones protruding at the feet of Nidoking. The stones were slapped away with a slap of the tail. Nidoking used his ability to put the flying rocks on his body. Yellow ground energy emerged from Nidoking's body, solidifying its rock armor, and the life orb it wore was also emitting a halo. Nidoking was covered with a set of rock armor, which looked thicker and slower, but its defense was enhanced. Nidoking's 2 fists were full of thorns and rushed towards the attacking cunning Tengu. Facing this, Zhang Xingyun could use instant teleportation to teleport Nidoking, but Nidoking wanted to see how capable his new move was. Zhang Xingyun fulfilled it. Nidoking, wearing rock armor, chopped hard, but was dodged by the agile cunning Tengu. Cunning Tengu rushed out from the side and chopped down with a rock shatter. Nidoking's movement speed is slow, but its attack speed is not slow. Its body is tilted, but it can use its thick tail. The iron tail collided with cunning Tengu, and the rock on its tail turned into powder. Nidoking also used this power to straighten his body and hit it with a freezing punch. Cunning Tengu also punched back. After a blast, the tall and heavy Nidoking was pushed back many steps by cunning Tengu. While retreating, he was also attacked by the flying leaf blade. The rock armor covering his body was also cracked by cunning Tengu's moves, and cracks appeared. If there was no rock armor, the attack would have hit Nidoking's body, but it takes a lot of energy and strength to use this rock armor. The repelled Nidoking looked very tired. Desert Dragonfly and Giant Claw Mantis also came to kill. Cunning Tengu seemed to have regained his wits and realized that the situation was not good, so he wanted to retreat. Just now, he attacked hard with the purpose of killing a few elves, so he chose Nidoking, which moved slowly. Unexpectedly, Nidoking had extremely strong defense and could not be killed. He tried to kill Pidgeot but failed. His condition was not good, so he wanted to retreat. If the Green Mountains are still there will be no need to worry about the firewood. Humans understand it, and it will naturally understand it. If it continues like this, it will not only fail to get revenge, but it will probably die here. It has to leave. With its strength, it is also feasible to attack in the dark. Then the breath of cunning Tengu became more violent, and his attack became more crazy. Zhang Xingyun and the others could only let the elves slow down. After cunning Tengu found an opportunity, he wanted to escape, after getting out of the encirclement of the elves. Humph, you want to escape? If there were only the elves present, they might not be able to stop you. But, Nangang Yeo thought that the cunning Tengu's explosion was to take the opportunity to kill a certain elf and attract their attention. But now she knew that the cunning Tengu wanted to escape. She took out the elf that Nangang Yan left for her from her belt and threw it out. Chapter 228, Kixie Bluebird in the middle stage of Heavenly King. A beautiful and pleasant voice sounded, and a Kixie Bluebird appeared on the field. This Kixie Bluebird was filled with terrifying abilities, with gorgeous fur, and looked very elegant, more charming than Nangang Yeo's elite Kixie Bluebird. The elf thrown by Nangang Yeo was exactly this Kixie Bluebird in the middle stage of the Heavenly King. After seeing the Kixie Bluebird appear, Zhang Xingyun was a little surprised, but it was normal to think about it. Zhang Xingyun thought that Nangang Yeo's guardian elf would be a quasi-Heavenly King level elf, but it was a Kixie Bluebird in the middle stage of the Heavenly King. Nangang Yeo's family background was extraordinary, so it was not surprising that she had a Heavenly King level guardian elf. After the last encounter, she must have paid more attention to safety issues. Zhang Xingyun used the system to scan the Kixie Bluebird and obtained its information. Name, Tanabata Bluebird, female. Attributes, dragon. Flying characteristics, unrelated to weather qualification, light blue strength, mid-level Heavenly King skills, pecking, howling, singing, dragon claw, white mist, dragon breath, dragon dance, hold, pray for rain, song of destruction, awakening power, divine bird slam. No matter from which aspect, this Tanabata Bluebird is very good. Tanabata Bluebird has a sky blue body and fluffy wings like cotton. Tanabata Bluebird can use its cotton cloud-like wings to fly high into the sky with the help of rising air currents. It can also sing beautiful high notes that make people intoxicated and as if they are in a dream. Tanabata Bluebird, help me deal with the cunning Tengu, please. Nangang Yeo said. Tanabata Bluebird gave a loud cry and quickly took off into the air. Wrapped in a flying energy coat, it rushed towards the cunning Tengu who was fleeing at a very fast speed. Although the cunning Tengu ran ahead for dozens of seconds, the Kixie Bluebird caught up with the cunning Tengu in a blink of an eye. As the cunning Tengu looked terrified, the divine bird hit it hard. Zhu the cunning Tengu screamed and fell heavily to the ground like a rag, twitching, but not struggling, and not losing consciousness. Dark green dragon breath sprayed over, and the cunning Tengu had no time to dodge, and couldn't dodge, and was hit by the dragon breath. In the dragon breath, he lost consciousness. Kixie Bluebird, kill it, Nangang Yeo said on the side. After hearing this, the Kixie Bluebird flapped its wings and flew away. Another divine bird hit hard and hit the cunning Tengu's body. With the cunning Tengu as the center, a big pit appeared, and the cunning Tengu was also killed by the Kixie Bluebird on the spot, and became a corpse. From the appearance of Kixie Bluebird to the killing of cunning Tengu, it took less than a minute. The quasi-king level cunning Tengu was killed after a few moves by Kixie Bluebird, which shows how powerful the king level is. This matter has come to an end. Looking at the dead cunning Tengu, Nangang Yeo said lightly. She almost died at the hands of cunning Tengu, and now she is taking revenge, which is understandable. It can only be said that the strong prey on the weak. If Nangang Yeo did not have the help of Kixie Bluebird, she would probably not be able to kill it. Unfortunately, Nangang Yeo has it, and she has the capital. Seeing this scene, Zhang Xingyun sighed in his heart. Having a backing means having confidence. When Nangang Yeo encountered an attack, there was a king level elf guarding him, and what about him? Thinking back to when he came to Changning, he was alone, without a partner, no elves, and no money. If it weren't for the help of the system, I don't know what level of strength I have reached. Ordinary level? Or novice period? Maybe with my talent, I can barely reach the ordinary level. That's great. Zhang Xingyun murmured. Next is the time to collect resources. Let's go, Xingyun. Collect the resources first, and then do other things. Okay. Kixie Bluebird, scare the elves who want to be yellow birds, and you still need people. Kai the Kixie youth flew into the air, and with the sound of his big hooves, he stirred up waves of sound in all directions. Rustle the surrounding grass and bushes all made moving sounds, and then they became quiet. These were all attracted by the movement just now, not only the elves but also humans. After being shocked by the king level Kixie Bluebird, they retreated. Don't know what's good for you? If you don't retreat, don't blame me for being rude. Nangang Yeo shouted in one direction, and Zhang Xingyun also looked there quietly. Ha ha ha, misunderstanding, I'm leaving now. A male voice came, and then he withdrew. HMPH, there are always people who want to be the jackal. The wealth of a quasi-king tribe is not low, it is worth it for them, whether they are human or elves. Zhang Xingyun also agreed. It is not uncommon to seize the fruits of victory of others, and there are also murders and robberies. Zhang Xingyun has encountered it a few times, and the result is that he solved them all. If it was a minor case, he handed it over to the relevant department, and if it was a serious case, he killed it on the spot. Vegeta and Giant Mantis, be alert, and collect the rest of the things, and put them here. Zhang Xingyun made arrangements for the elves, and Nangang Yeo did the same. Start to sort out the harvest this time. Not bad, not bad. I didn't expect there is such a thing as life wood heart here. It's rare. Xingyun, look, there are 3 high-level leaf stones here, and there are others. Earth Spirit Slurry, Purple Spirit Ore. I saw a few backpacks here. They should be the trainers who were attacked and killed by them. Wow, there are quite a lot of things. Let me see, it's a pity that there is no backpack I lost. After a long time of hard work, they finally processed the harvest. Of course, the dead Pokémon were treated as materials. The cunning Tengu was defeated, and the 2 of them were full. The harvest sorted out filled the space backpack, and there were still many cheap fruits and other fruits that were not taken care of. I just picked some good looking fruits and herbs, and put them away. After sweeping again and again, I left this mess. It won't be long here. With the fruit resources here, there will soon be Pokémon tribes settled here, and it will develop again. There is also the possibility of the emergence of Pokémon at the quasi-king level. If you provoke an enemy you can't afford to provoke again, you will be exterminated again like this time. Survival of the fittest. In the wild where there are no laws and no constraints, strength is the rule. The 2 of them took the elves, and rushed back in the direction of Daewon City. As a king level elf, Kixie Bluebird also has dignity. It is only willing to let Nangang Yeo ride, but not Zhang Xingyun. Nangang Yeo is also a familiar person to it, and can be regarded as its relative, so naturally it is willing to let her ride. Nangang Yeo has said it many times, but Kixie Bluebird is unwilling. She doesn't want to let Zhang Xingyun go back by herself, so she just walked over. Their flying elves, Vegeta and Desert Dragonfly, were injured and are still recuperating, so they went back to experience. Chapter 229 Coordinator. In the evening, Zhang Xingyun and Nangang Yeo walked out of a big store. Both of them were smiling, and it was obvious that they were very satisfied with this deal. Hey, let's go to Nangang and have dinner. Zhang Xingyun shouted. Well, I'll take you to a nice one. Nangang Yeo said. That's fine. I sent you the address, this one. Nangang Yeo took out her phone, clicked a few times, and motioned him to look at her phone. Well, the Swan Pavilion looks pretty good according to the reviews. Zhang Xingyun looked at his phone and browsed the address Nangang Yeo sent him. Well, it's a 7-star level. Changning doesn't have it. It's newly opened in Daewon City. It's just right now. Okay, get in the car. Okay. The roaring motorcycle engine sounded and rushed to the Wanlong Pavilion. When he arrived at the place, Zhang Xingyun was shocked when he saw the magnificent Wanlong Pavilion. The security captain patrolling the door was an elite, although his spirit seemed to be suffering from a hidden disease in Zhang Xingyun's eyes. Walking in, the decoration here is all made of high quality materials. Let's not talk about luxury for now, but other aspects. Zhang Xingyun speculated that these buildings can withstand attacks at the quasi-king level. Nangang Yeo reported some information very skillfully. After placing an order with the front desk staff, the formalities were completed soon. A young lady in work clothes took the 2 of them to the book room. Along the way, we saw a lot of elf sculptures, most of which were dragon elves, very majestic. Reasonable design and appropriate lighting rendering made them look lifelike. After walking a distance, there were some calligraphy and paintings hanging on the wall, and screens were arranged. There was also beautiful music coming, which matched the scene and atmosphere at this time, and there was another feeling. Okay, two distinguished guests, this is a room you two booked. If you have any needs, you can contact us. I wish you a happy meal. Well, thank you. You're welcome. After Nangang Yeo took the card from the waitress, he opened the door and walked in, and Zhang Xingyun followed him in. This room is very large, the dining table is arranged in European style, and there is a very large French window. Outside a Tanabata bluebird flew by. Zhang Xingyun curiously moved closer, and looked out of the French window. There were 7 Tanabata bluebirds dancing on a stage outside, very gracefully. The Tanabata bluebirds cooperated with each other, and the dance they performed was also carefully choreographed, which was even more pleasing to the eye. This was also a visual enjoyment. Zhang Xingyun found that the view in this room was the best. Not only the room he was in could see it, but also other rooms could see it. How is it? At the dining table, Nangang Yeo asked softly, while holding the menu. Luxury. Zhang Xingyun said only 2 words, and did not say any other words, because he had just scanned it with the system, and the leader of the 7 Tanabata bluebirds was actually an elf in the early stage of the qua-seeking. As expected, wealthy people really know how to enjoy themselves. This is not bad. If you have a chance, I will invite you to Jinling to watch the group of dragon dances. That's really shocking. Okay, what do you want to eat? Come on. Okay. After listening, Zhang Xingyun touched his nose, sat back at the dining table, took the menu and ordered. Zhang Xingyun quickly ordered and released the elves. After the young Kiris came out, they walked to the French window to watch the dance of the Tanabata bluebird. Zhang Xingyun chatted with Nangang Yeo. Soon the staff brought in the food and then went out. The service attitude was excellent, and the services provided were also varied and unique. Zhang Xingyun refused the elves service, which is to serve the elves to eat, using specially trained elves to serve the elves. This can allow the elves to eat while the trainers are eating, and with the help of the service elves, it can also promote the relationship between the trainers and the elves. This is written on the menu, and Nangang Yeo also mentioned it, but Zhang Xingyun still felt that it was unnecessary, so he declined, and Nangang Yeo did not order it. When she saw this, the service and the taste of the food are great, but the price is a bit expensive. Zhang Xingyun picked up a piece of meat, put it in his mouth, and said after savoring it carefully, "Of course, you get what you pay for, but today I'm treating you. As long as you can eat as much as you want." Nangang Yeo said generously. "How can that be? I'll treat you this time. You've given me so much in the distribution, I'm a little embarrassed. You must let me treat you this time." Zhang Xingyun said very sincerely. Nangang Yeo directly divided the harvest today in a 50-50 manner, which made Zhang Xingyun a little embarrassed. The harvest today was mainly due to Nangang Yeo's contribution. Even if he didn't count the tens of millions he harvested today, the battle experience of undertaking alone was already a profit. "I just bought it at the front desk. Don't argue with me, just treat me next time. This tastes really good, try it." "Okay then." Zhang Xingyun heard Nangang Yeo say this, and he no longer insisted. The two of them were very good friends, so he could just treat her back next time. You people in big cities are really good at having fun. The Kixie Bluebird dances, and now even a precious spirit like the Seathorn Dragon is performing. It's extravagant. At this time, the Kixie Bluebird finished dancing, and several Seathorn Dragons appeared to perform. A bit funny. In my hometown of Jinling, there are also performances by quasi-god spirits. That's extravagant. These days, quasi-gods have to perform for money? Zhang Xingyun said in surprise. It's not enough to have Seathorn Dragons and Kixie Bluebirds, but there are also quasi-gods? Question mark? These days, do quasi-gods have to perform for money? Haha Xingyun, don't be so surprised, okay? Just because you don't know something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Seeing Zhang Xingyun's shocked look, Nangang Yeo also laughed. Well, I'm just a bumpkin from the countryside. Zhang Xingyun said self-deprecatingly. Compared with Nangang Yeo, he really looked like a bumpkin. This quasi-god performing for money really surprised him. Hahaha, actually this is not what you call performing for money, but a way of cultivation. A way of cultivation? Zhang Xingyun suddenly thought of a profession, and he suddenly realized it. He usually didn't think about this, and he had never seen it in real life, because this profession is different from the profession of trainer in some details. And Zhang Xingyun is busy every day for resources, so it's normal that he didn't think about it. This profession is Pokémon Coordinator. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 230 Back to School. Pokémon coordinators are different from ordinary trainers. They train Pokémon specifically for the Pokémon contest, rather than regular Pokémon battles. Coordinators pay attention to the appearance and status of their Pokémon, so they will dress up their Pokémon and let them eat berries, Pokécubes and Puffin to improve their status. They also focus on the training of Pokémon moves, including the gorgeousness and completion of the moves. Like ordinary trainers, coordinators must also ensure the physical health of Pokémon. Compared with Pokémon trainers, coordinators tend to perform. Xiaoyao, Xiaoguang and others in the anime are Pokémon coordinators. The world Zhang Xingyun lives in is still different from that in the anime. In reality, the profession of coordinator is less in number and smaller in scale than traditional trainers. That is, in recent years, with the development of society, it has gradually developed. The resources required by coordinators will not be less than those of trainers, but will be much higher, which is also unaffordable for most families. The rich are always a minority, and the ordinary are the majority. Many ordinary trainers are still eating ordinary Pokémon food, and they have to consider even the primary energy cubes. He is in this situation because of the adventure, and the Pokémon grows so fast, and it snowballs and gets bigger and bigger. Most people collapse halfway. If I have a chance, I will go and have a look, Zhang Xingyun said with a smile. There are also some in the Magic City. When I go to school in the future, I can also go and have a look. It's really good. Yeah, that makes sense. The food here is expensive, but it is also worth the money. The food that Nidoking eats now can be regarded as treasure level food. What can be fed to Pokémon is not only energy cubes, but also this special Pokémon food, which is not in the anime. This special Pokémon food is developed by special people. Its effect is not inferior to energy cubes, and it tastes better than energy cubes. There are also various methods to adjust the taste. When will you return to Changning? After eating for a while, Nangang Yeo asked. If it's alright, I want to go back in the next 2 days. I've had enough experience here. I need to digest what I've gained this time. Indeed, I'm going back in the next few days too. Do you want to go together? Sure. Tomorrow then. Okay. After the two agreed on a time, they watched the performance of the elves outside the window. When it was almost time, they left the restaurant. After Zhang Xingyun sent her back to the hotel, he also returned to the rented villa. He also told the person in charge of the villa that he would leave tomorrow and asked them to find a time to come over and take over. Now, we can maintain rapid development for a period of time. We don't have to worry about economic matters. The tribe of the Quasi King is so valuable. Zhang Xingyun lay on the sofa, looking at the space ring on his finger. There were a lot of things in it. The evolution resources of the electric beast and the flower petal are also available. As long as it waits for the opportunity to evolve, it can evolve. Just like the high quality items needed for the evolution of Nidoking, the flower petal and the electric beast need external objects to assist in the evolution. The quality of this external object must be high. Zhang Xingyun doesn't like the medium or low quality ones. It seems that it is possible to make all elites in 6 months. Next, I have to try to make advanced energy blocks while maintaining their normal development. Zhang Xingyun no longer wants money, but advanced energy blocks. However, it is very difficult to make advanced energy blocks, and the effort and cost are also very high. The next day, after dealing with it, Zhang Xingyun came to the hotel where Nangang Yeo lived. Nangang Yeo was also ready, and they set off after arriving. There are trainers stationed on the road from Daewon City to Changning City. Recently, due to the advent of the secret realm, trainers often pass by, and there are also troops. When driving on the road, you can also see the temporary road opened by Zhang Xingyun when he participated in the escort mission some time ago. Zhang Xingyun stopped the car, then put his hand into the space and took out Pidgeot's Pokeball. Come out, Pidgeot, just fly towards this road. Zhang Xingyun moved instantly and appeared on Pidgeot's back, letting it carry him back to Changning. Nangang also let the desert dragonfly come out, took it, and rushed back to Changning together. On the back of Pidgeot, looking at the shrinking scenery and the green ocean below, Zhang Xingyun was in a good mood. Now Pidgeot has evolved and can take him flying, unlike the Pidgeot period when he could only glide to travel. Pidgeot flew very freely, sometimes fast and sometimes slow. With Pidgeot's current size equivalent to a fighter jet, Zhang Xingyun sat on it. Because of Pidgeot's control, the strong wind caused by flying did not disturb his vision. He was flying on the road and did not encounter any flying Pokémon above the elite level, but only encountered a few ordinary flying Pokémon. Some of them did not provoke him, and he was too lazy to pay attention to them. There were also a few chickens that flew directly to him, and Pidgeot naturally would not be polite to them. In this way, he and Nangang flew towards Changning one after another. They landed on the outskirts of Changning City. The city is strictly managed, and large flying Pokémon are strictly prohibited from flying randomly, especially those with trainers on board. Generally, it is not allowed. Special staff can fly in the city on flying spirits, such as investigators when they are on duty. The next road is to drive the motorcycle back to Changning. Hey, Teacher Wang, you told me to go back to school if I'm free and say I have something to do. Have you received the message? Nangang, who was behind the motorcycle, said. When did it happen? Just now. I haven't received it yet. My phone rang. After parking the car, Zhang Xingyun took out his phone and saw that it was a message from Wang Yu asking him to go back to school, which was similar to what Nangang said. I have received it now, and it's only 10 o'clock now. How about going to see what's going on? Zhang Xingyun asked. Okay, I don't have anything to do anyway. Zhang Xingyun drove towards Changning No. 9 Middle School. He hasn't been to school for a few days. Since he was recommended, he has only been there once or twice. He doesn't go to school to study now, but to relax. They soon arrived at Changning No. 9 Middle School. After parking the car, the two walked in. The guard also knew them, so he didn't stop them. They walked along the familiar road and soon arrived outside Class 20. They could hear the voices of their classmates from afar. It was probably because it was free time, not a theoretical class. Chapter 231 Acceptance Letter. Hey, isn't this Xingyun? What brought you here? Song Weishao saw Zhang Xingyun coming in and shouted. As soon as he finished speaking, other students in the class also looked over. Busy man, it's rare. Nangang Beauty is here too. Everyone also saw Nangang behind Zhang Xingyun. My teacher asked me to come here, saying that there was something, so I came here. Zhang Xingyun explained, then moved his original chair and sat down. It's almost the end of the semester. December is almost over. Zhang Xingyun asked. Yeah, in the past 2 months, a few students have changed in the class. Now there are no novice students in our class of 30. Song Weishao replied. I saw several new faces when I came in just now. After each exam, our class 20 always has to change a few students. I heard that there will be no change next semester, so the competition for this final exam is particularly fierce. Zhao Xiaofeng also mentioned it, talked about the recent situation in the class, and said to Zhang Xingyun, hey, aren't you in Daewon? How is everything going? Yeah, it's going well. It's good that it's going well. Class monitor Chen Yu also came over and spoke, chatting with Nangang next to her. Nangang took out a box from the space and handed it to her, and then chatted quietly on the side. Yi Crossing and others also came over. They missed each other after not seeing each other for a while. You have heard that there are elite trainers in Changning No. 1 Middle School and other high schools. Yi Crossing said mysteriously. Yeah, I heard about it. I heard about it too, and I was just about to tell Xingyun. Too strong. We are still struggling with the ordinary level, but they are elite. People really can't compare. Xingyun, has your Pokémon been promoted to elite? Nangong was promoted a few months ago. How about you? Chen Yu looked at Zhang Xingyun and asked. Promoted. My Nidalino evolved into Nidoking, and its strength has reached the elite level. This is nothing. Zhang Xingyun said it. Great. According to the current situation, our number 9 middle school will have at least 2 elite trainers in the final league. Chen Yu said happily, and it was not just her, but Yi Crossing and others as well. If you work harder, it will happen sooner or later. Zhang Xingyun replied, cheering them up. It's still a long time. Hang Jian will be quick, but we don't know when it will be. I'm just a little quicker. Let's encourage each other. Hearing his classmates praising him, Fang Hangjian replied on the side. After chatting for a while, Wang Yu appeared at the door, and then Zhang Xingyun and Nangong Yao followed Wang Yu to the office. How is it, Xingyun? You should have made a lot of progress, and you should have an elite level Pokémon now. Wang Yu asked with a smile after the three sat down. Yes, I have made some progress during this period, and my Pokémon has also been promoted to elite. Sure enough, students like you are actually more suitable for you outside of school. In school, I have also learned a lot. Zhang Xingyun said. Nangong classmate, Xingyun is like this. I guess you have also made progress. Wang Yu looked at Nangong Yao and asked. Well, I have made progress. Class teacher, why did you ask us to come to school? Nangong Yao answered and asked back. Oh, it's like this. Didn't you get recommended to Magic City University? Now your special admission letters have arrived at the school. This time I just asked you to come and get them when you are free. Also, during the final exams in a while, several high schools in Changning will hold a league. If you have time, come and participate. There are several elite trainers in other schools. Wang Yu said the purpose of asking them to come to school. When handing over 2 packages, he also talked about the league. I will. When is the league? What is the format of the competition? Will it be a field battle like last time? Zhang Xingyun asked, and also indicated that he would participate in the league. Elite trainers have also appeared in other schools, and at present, he and Nangong Yao are the only 2 elves with elite combat power in number 9 middle school. If the 2 do not participate, it will be a field battle like last time, and the score of the game will be lower. It is difficult for ordinary trainers to fight across levels. When ordinary trainers meet elites, their chances of winning are very low. This league is not an outdoor actual battle, but a traditional battle. The specific details have not yet been released. Now the battle mode is confirmed, and the time is January 15th. Wang Yu replied. Okay, I know. I will definitely go then. After a while, Zhang Xingyun and the other person walked out of the office and came to the classroom. Hey, why did the teacher look for you too? Is it about the final league? Song Weizhao came over and asked Zhang Xingyun. There is also this, and one more thing is the admission letter. Here it is. Zhang Xingyun took out the package containing the admission letter and opened it in front of the classmates. From the package, he took out the admission letter, on which the 4 big characters Magic City University were written in a dragon-like and phoenix-like style, and there was also a paper cut of Sukyun attached to the letter. Wow, I'm so envious. Is this the admission letter from Magic City University? It's so handsome. This Sukyun is so handsome. He deserves to be the school beast of Magic City University. Yes. After looking at it for a while, Zhang Xingyun put it away. Just looking at it is enough. He is not a person who likes to show off. Then he talked about the league. If it is based on the battle mode, according to previous years, each school will send 10 students to fight, and then calculate the results, based on the ranking, and finally get the ranking of the school. Yi Crossing said on the side. This is not a secret. Such a battle is also very effective. It's just that there are some differences in some aspects compared to the wild. The most important thing is strength. As long as the strength of the elves is strong enough, no matter what kind of battle environment or battle rules, there is no need to worry. Zhang Xingyun just transferred here this semester, so he asked. After their story, Zhang Xingyun also had a bottom line in his heart. On this day, Zhang Xingyun stayed in school, just as a break. He had been busy for many days. It was time to take a break. Yi Crossing also came to him to spar. Zhang Xingyun definitely couldn't send out Nidoking. Yi Crossing's Haunter had just been promoted to the ordinary late stage. It would be bad to send out Nidoking. Zhang Xingyun took out 3 Pokémon for Yi Crossing to choose, and Yi Crossing chose Electabuzz to spar. Chapter 232 School Life. On the training ground of Changning No. 9 Middle School, Electabuzz and Haunter were competing. Yi Crossing's Haunter was extremely good at hypnotizing the enemy and then defeating the Pokémon that was in a state of hypnosis. With this trick, he defeated many trainers and Pokémon. In the first match at the beginning of the school year, it was Nidoran vs. Ghastly, and Zhang Xingyun defeated it with this ability. Now that Ghastly has evolved into Haunter, its ability must be even stronger. On the field, Electabuzz ran around the field, emitting electric energy as it ran, and the ground it ran over was flashing with arcs of electricity. Although Yi Crossing didn't know why Electabuzz did this, he must have been arranging his moves. Haunter, change Shadow Balls, attack in a linear manner. CG bang, bang, bang. 2 of the Shadow Balls fired by Haunter were dodged by Electabuzz, and 2 were slapped away, so they were not very effective. Heibu Electabuzz bared its fangs, and dense electric sparks flashed in the venue. Attracted by Electabuzz, they all rushed over. When the electric arc passed by Haunter, Haunter dodged it. Heibu, the electric energy gathered on Electabuzz was scattered by it again. 4 electric whips condensed by the electric energy made a crackling sound and took shape with Electabuzz as the center. Electabuzz caught the electromagnetic force again, increased its speed, and pounced on Haunter. The sparks and lightning along the way were quite spectacular, which shocked everyone watching. Even Nangang Yeo looked at Zhang Xingyun with a strange expression. He was indeed a genius, and the Pokémon he trained were also genius Pokémon. Haunter's Evil Wave. The Evil Wave was dispersed by the electric whip beside Electabuzz, and the energy on Electabuzz dimmed a little, but soon returned to its previous level. Shadow Ball. Strange Light. Smelly Mud Bomb. Haunter dodged the attack and threw skills, but they were all cracked. Electabuzz squeezed Haunter's activity space again and again, but Haunter still found an opportunity, approached Electabuzz, faced Electabuzz, and launched its most proficient hypnosis. Hey, Xingyun said that you can't use superpowers to bless it, you can only command it in the way of ordinary people. Yeah, I know. There was a roar on the field, and Haunter was scared and flew up, and there were arcs of electricity flashing on his body. Ah, this Xingyun, didn't you say you don't use superpowers? Didn't it react so quickly? It didn't even hypnotize it for a second. Seeing that Haunter hypnotized Electabuzz for even a second, Yi Crossing was a little unbelievable. Haunter's hypnotic ability was also his focus of training. Even if Electabuzz could react, it couldn't be so fast. I really didn't. It should be the characteristic of Electabuzz. Zhang Xingyun explained, saying that he didn't have it. It's enthusiasm. Stop, don't fight anymore. After Zhang Xingyun pointed it out, Yi Crossing also thought of the enthusiasm feature. In the game, the enthusiasm feature means that in a battle, the Pokémon with this feature will not fall into a sleeping state, and the sleeping moves will also be invalid. But in reality, the enthusiasm skill can also be immune to skills such as hypnosis, but it must be within the tolerance range. Like the ordinary late stage Haunter now, even if it has been carefully trained, it is still within the tolerance range of Electabuzz. If a king level Haunter is hypnotized, Electabuzz will most likely be hypnotized. After defeating Yi Crossing, several classmates also came on the field to compete, but at this level of the ordinary level, Zhang Xingyun is not bragging. Ordinary Pokémon really can't beat Electabuzz. Like now, Electabuzz has defeated a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and its characteristic is still a lightning rod, but it was still defeated by Electabuzz, and it took a lot of means and energy. Attribute restraint is very important, but there are still some who fight against the attributes and win. For example, when Electabuzz fights Tyrannosaurus, the electric skills are not very effective, so he can use other skills, which are plenty. The fighting methods are fixed, but people are alive. A good trainer knows how to adapt to the situation. Wow, Tyrannosaurus was also defeated. Xingyun, your Electabuzz is too strong. Gao Yuan exclaimed. It's okay, it's because of the hard training. We should pay attention to attributes, but we should not rely on attributes. In addition to attributes, We also have tactics, moves, environment, etc. We must consider these, and be cautious to treat every battle. Zhang Xingyun was modest for a while, and then expressed his feelings, and shared them with his classmates. Well said. That makes sense. Zhang Xingyun's words were also recognized by them. He did not lie. What he said was his feelings. What they didn't know was that with the current Electabuzz, he could still fight against elite level Pokémon for a few moves. It is really not difficult to deal with ordinary level Pokémon, even if they are restrained by attributes. Hahaha, classmate Xingyun said it very well. You all should learn something. Zhao Mingshang also came to the training ground at this time and heard what Zhang Xingyun said. After chatting for a long time, the class started. The main topic of the chat was to exchange combat experience and field experiences. Zhang Xingyun could be said to be a senior trainer, so naturally he could say a lot of useful things. This day passed in a lively manner. In the evening, after dinner, Zhang Xingyun sat on a recliner beside the training ground at home to digest his food. It is December now, and many cities have become cold, and it is even snowing in the north. But here in Changning, it is not that cold, just at night, and in the morning. Of course, with Zhang Xingyun's current ability, such weather has little effect on him. The young Kiris on the field was chasing the baby dragon, and the undertaking next to him was still training. There was also a sound of hey boo coming from the house. Zhang Xingyun found the Yuanling formula that Nangang Yao gave him, and also called up the system to assist in calculation. It also needs spiritual water to assist, so the cost will be better. Zhang Xingyun looked up the information. There are a lot of preparations to make advanced energy blocks, which are not the same as primary and intermediate energy blocks. What the system can deduce must also be considered, whether Zhang Xingyun can use it. There are too many things to consider. No wonder there are so few advanced cultivators. I have these helpers, but it's so difficult, let alone other people. Zhang Xingyun murmured, rubbing his hair with both hands. With his current cultivation and knowledge reserves, thinking about these things would be very tiring. I won't go on adventures in the wild during this period. I'll study this advanced energy block carefully. Chapter 233 Attending the Wedding. On the second day, Zhang Xingyun sent the elves to the club for training, leaving Nidoking with him. He went to the Breeder Association, took out his ID, and applied for a computer room. Since he had made an appointment before, he went through the formalities quickly. The equipment in this computer room is not low configured, so he needs to apply for it, but the machines used before do not need it. After purchasing a batch of items to be used and sending them to the room, Zhang Xingyun started to work. The first thing is to make intermediate energy blocks, to get familiar with the machine, and then the feel. Bus, the machine started, and under Zhang Xingyun's operation, it was soon successfully made, and the intermediate energy blocks emitting hot smoke came out of the furnace. Looking at its appearance, it is not bad. After a pause, after careful thinking, he took out the materials for the advanced energy blocks, and poured them into it. Bus, the machine started again, and the added materials ran according to the program. With a muffled sound, wisps of black smoke came out of the machine, announcing the failure of this production. Stop again, recall the details of the production process just now, and then compare the information displayed on the system. After a careful comparison, he started making it again. As expected, it still failed, but there was progress. He went through 2 more procedures than last time. I have added spiritual water as a solvent, which has alleviated a lot of explosive substances. How could it fail? There must be other reasons, but I just don't know. I have to think about it carefully, and recall it carefully. He took out a book and a pen, and reviewed it carefully, comparing it one by one. He wrote down his previous guesses, and then wrote down the shortcomings, the smooth places, the places where changes occurred, etc., one by one on the paper. Even if it can't be made, it's not too bad to have these data. Looking at the words that filled a whole sheet of paper, Zhang Xingyun murmured, "Failure is the mother of success. It is normal to encounter failure. If the advanced energy cube can be made so easily, it would be a ghost." After a while, Zhang Xingyun started making it again, and probed the spirit power into the machine to observe the material situation inside. His ability can observe 360 degrees, while this machine can only see the allowed areas, so Zhang Xingyun has a particularly big advantage in making this energy cube compared to ordinary breeders. Very good. Not much different from my guess. I'm right. On the evening of January 5th, at the Breeder Association, a bang announced that Zhang Xingyun failed to make the energy cube again. It's really difficult. It's been a few days, and I still can't do it. It seems that I have to take it slowly. Zhang Xingyun stopped making it. He had been making energy cubes for a few days, but the results were all failures. Zhang Xingyun did not work behind closed doors. He also paid to ask questions on the official website, but he still couldn't make it. Today is January 5th, and I have to attend Sister Xiao's wedding tomorrow. After packing up, he left the association, rushed to the store to buy gifts, and then went to the elf club to bring all the elves back, and then return home. As soon as he returned home, Zhang Xingyun's phone rang. Xiaoyan, remember to come tomorrow, don't forget. Don't worry, Sister Xiao, I will remember. Okay. After chatting for a few words, they hung up the phone. Zhang Xiao must be busy. Zhang Xingyun was eating instant noodles and watching TV. Now a new story was playing on TV. In the past few days, another secret realm has descended in Nano province, but with the help of Heavenly Secret, there were no major casualties, protecting people's lives and property. In the news, Zhang Xingyun also saw the whole story. From the detection to the imminent arrival of the secret realm, within these 3 hours, the military had made arrangements and calmly sent out troops to suppress these frenzied elves. Zhang Xingyun looked at the news with a lot of thoughts in his mind. Wait, I hope you are still here, haha. He finished the instant noodles in a few mouthfuls and went into the bathroom to wash up. After his hair was dry, he sat cross-legged on the bed and practiced. There was no conversation all night. The next morning, Zhang Xingyun opened his eyes, exhaled a breath of turbid air, got up and did a few stretching exercises to stretch his body. Well, my supernatural power has improved a bit, not bad. Zhang Xiao's wedding was held in the afternoon, so Zhang Xingyun read books at home in the morning. When the time was almost up, he dressed in formal clothes and rushed over. After arriving at the Golden Dragon Hotel, it was already past 2 in the afternoon. Following the instructions, he came to an open-air place. The field was covered with flowers and green grass, a red carpet, and a carefully decorated stage. Xiaoyan, you are here. Zhang Xiao, who was wearing a white wedding dress, came over after seeing Zhang Xingyun. Zhang Xiao herself was very beautiful and had a gentle temperament. At this time, she looked very dignified and elegant in her wedding dress. Sister Xiao, I wish you a happy wedding. Here is a little gift from me. Zhang Xingyun took out the gift he had purchased from the space and handed it to Zhang Xiao. It's good that someone is here. What other gifts do you bring? Sister Xiao, this is nothing. Finally, Zhang Xiao accepted Zhang Xingyun's gift. At this time, a man in a white suit, with a red flower on his chest, regular features and a handsome face, came over. Who is this? Xiao. Brother Lin, this is my neighbor from Qingshu Town, my hometown. He just came to Changning this year. Xingyun is the groom, so call him brother-in-law. Zhang Xiao explained, and said to Zhang Xingyun, hello, hello. Hello to you too, brother-in-law. Hahaha, since Xiao calls you brother, then you are also my brother. Eat and drink well when you come. You can also contact me if you have any questions. Your brother-in-law still has some influence in Changning. After listening, Zhang Lin said very enthusiastically. After exchanging contact information with Zhang Xingyun and chatting for a few words, he walked over to greet other people. Xiaoyan, your brother-in-law is the deputy director of the public security station in the west district of the city. He still has some power. If you need it in the future, just contact him. Don't worry, Sister Xiao, I will if you need it. Zhang Xingyun felt warm in his heart. This neighbor sister was really good to him. Then Xiaoyan, you eat and drink first. I'll go and entertain the others. Okay, go ahead. More and more people came to participate. Zhang Xingyun found a place, picked up some fruits and started eating. Xingyun, you are here too. Principal Li Yuning appeared in front of Zhang Xingyun and looked at Zhang Xingyun. Hello, principal. I received an invitation to the wedding. I didn't expect that you would come too. Zhang Xingyun stood up and greeted him. Yes, today I'm here to attend the wedding of my old friend's son. Principal Li Yuning explained, and then changed the subject and said, I heard from Ning that you saved their lives. I would like to thank you on their behalf. You are too polite, principal. It's just a small favor. Chapter 234 Wedding Scene. Uncle, so you are here. Benefactor, you are here too. A pretty girl rushed to Principal Li Yuning's side and saw Zhang Xingyun. Ning is here too. What a coincidence, Xingyun is here too. You have to thank him. Principal Li Yuning said with a smile. Well, thank you for your rescue last time. Liu Ning said very sincerely. You're welcome. It's just a small favor. At this time, a grey-haired man came to find Principal Li Yuning, and the two walked to the other side to chat. After Liu Ning clicked a few times on her phone, she sat around Zhang Xingyun and started chatting. Actually, you can also call me senior sister. I went to Changning No. 9 middle school in high school. Liu Ning smiled quietly and told the school she went to in high school. Well, senior sister. I didn't expect that there would be such a great junior like you in No. 9 middle school this year. By the way, Zhang Li is also here. Today is his cousin's wedding. Speak of the devil, and Zhang Li will appear on the scene and come over. After some greetings, the three of them got together and started chatting. During the chat, they learned that Zhang Xingyun was invited by the bride and was the younger brother of Zhang Xiaoyu's neighbor. And Zhang Xingyun also learned that the groom was Zhang Li's cousin from the Zhang family of Changning. The Zhang family is quite famous in Changning City. There are 2 listed companies in the family which mainly run the business of Pokémons. What is more famous is that the characteristic of their family's company is EV. The most powerful person in the family is Zhang Li's grandfather, a trainer at the peak of the Quasi-King level. Hey, big brother, come here. This is the trainer who saved me when I went to the secret realm. Zhang Lin happened to walk over and was pulled over by Zhang Li, who introduced him again. I didn't expect that, Xingyun. You are Li's savior. It's me who neglected it. Zhang Lin also knew that someone had saved Zhang Li, but he didn't know it was Zhang Xingyun. After Zhang Xiaoyu's introduction, he thought it was an ordinary trainer. His wife had told him that he should take good care of him if there was a chance. Now that he knew that Zhang Xingyun was Zhang Li's savior, he could not simply treat him as an ordinary trainer. Zhang Li also said that he was a person with special abilities, and now he was an elite trainer at a young age, even stronger than Zhang Li, who was carefully trained by their Zhang family. You're welcome. There's no such thing as neglect. Zhang Xingyun replied, and he didn't feel neglected. Later, Zhang Xingyun was arranged to a good position by Zhang Lin, and with Zhang Li around him, Zhang Lin went to work. Xingyun? Are you Xingyun? Hello uncle, it's me. Not long after sitting down, a middle-aged man in a suit came towards them and asked uncertainly. Zhang Xingyun stood up and replied. The middle-aged man in front of him was the father of the bride, Zhang Yi, a neighbor of Zhang Xingyun's hometown. In the blink of an eye, you have grown up so much, and you look a lot like your father. Alas, when I heard about what happened in my hometown, I was also very sad. We have to look forward. Well, I know. Zhang Xingyun replied calmly. He also had a plan for the matter of Qingshu Town. He would not live in the past. He was not a fragile person, and would naturally look forward. After exchanging pleasantries for a while, Zhang Yi went somewhere else to chat with other people. Then Zhang Li's parents came to thank Zhang Xingyun for saving Zhang Li. Zhang Li's father also gave Zhang Xingyun a space ring. But Zhang Xingyun did not want it, and said that it was just a piece of cake. After refusing several times, Zhang's father did not insist. After thanking him several more times, he retreated. It's quite a fate. Sister Xiaoyu's husband is from the Zhang family. Then some of what I have done can also help Sister Xiaoyu. Zhang Xingyun thought to himself. He saved Zhang Li. The Zhang family would thank him, and by the way, it would be better for Zhang Xiaoyu, so that Zhang Xiaoyu would be better off marrying there. Of course, it doesn't mean that Zhang Xiaoyu would be bad if she married there, but it would be better off. Soon the wedding began. The newlyweds entered and walked onto the stage, with the master of ceremonies presiding over the event. Zhang Lin's parents and Zhang Xiao's father also went up to say a few words. The groom even asked Zhang Xingyun to go up and say a few words. After Zhang Xingyun said a few words of blessing, at the suggestion of the master of ceremonies, he used his supernatural powers to release special fireworks for the wedding. It was very gorgeous, causing the people below to admire it. Haha Xingyun, I toast you a glass. Thank you for coming to my and Xiao's wedding. Cheers. After Zhang Xingyun and the groom drank a glass of wine, they ate and drank on the table. There were also many eyes looking at him, but Zhang Xingyun didn't care. He continued to eat and drink, chatting and eating with Zhang Li and Liu Qining on the side. The wine he drank naturally couldn't make him drunk. With his current physique, he didn't need to use his superpowers, and he had to drink a lot to get drunk. After finishing the wedding banquet lively, he said goodbye and left at around 8 o'clock in the evening. He went to the club to take undertaking and the others, and soon return home. Today Zhang Xingyun was going to attend the wedding, and he didn't take all of them with him. He only took Giant Claw Mantis and Electric Beast. The other Pokémon were placed in the club and allowed to train freely. As soon as they came out of the Pokéball, the Pokémon each found a place, training for training, and entertainment for entertainment. After washing up in the bathroom, he wiped his face with a towel, walked to the training ground, and lay on the recliner. Thinking about what happened today, thinking about his hometown, Kingshu Town, and thinking about it. As Nidoking and the others grew stronger, he gradually came up with some plans in his mind. It was revenge. Although it sounded a bit ridiculous, Zhang Xingyun would not let those elves go. He still remembered that Circly Bear and Gulp and the others who were chasing him on that day. His family was also destroyed because of these elves. His relatives died tragically, and his eldest brother could not be contacted now. A good family has become like this. How could he let it go easily? Let you live a little longer, but don't die too early, Zhang Xingyun said softly with fierce eyes. Camino, I just thought of something. Cammy, well, I believe you. I know you are very strong. The expression on Zhang Xingyun's face was seen by the passing Squirtle, so he came over to ask him and gestured with his fists a few times, wanting to use his fists to help him solve the problem. You have to train well. I will be there soon, and I will need your help then. Come on. Cammy, after hearing what Zhang Xingyun said, Stottle, who was originally planning to find the young Kiris, continued to run to the training ground for training. This little guy. Zhang Xingyun looked at Stottle, who was training again, smiled a few times, and then took out a book to read. Chapter 235. Prepare. Young G. Cammy, Stottle is training. Young Jiris appeared beside Zhang Xingyun, and after hearing what he said, he ran towards Cammy Stottle. After the two little ones chatted for a while, for some reason, they both started training. Zhang Xingyun was lying on a recliner, reading a book, and there was a cup of hot tea on the stone table next to him. It was quite comfortable to drink tea and read a book. Zhang Xingyun saw Huoyed cleaning the room. The small Huoyed was cleaning quite easily. Huoyed used the vines it cast and blew out special wind. The effect after cleaning was even cleaner than that of a machine. Huoyed also liked to do these things at ordinary times. After Zhang Xingyun knew it, he instructed it to use skills to clean, which could improve the mastery of skills. For example, the vine whip cast by Huoyed, how to use the vine whip to disturb. This strength and sensitivity can be trained. While Huoyed was cleaning, he could also train some moves, killing two birds with one stone. Hua, thank you for your hard work, Huoyed, just put it there. Hua. After Huoyed put the garbage away, she walked to his side and accompanied Zhang Xingyun. It is possible that you will evolve before Electabuzz. Hua. After Huoyed's strength has been polished for a period of time, it has reached the peak of the ordinary level. After it perfectly masters the power of the whole body, it can evolve. You work hard. I have prepared the resources you need. Hua. We are all partners, and when you evolve, I believe your strength will also reach the elite level. By then, your healing skills will be even better, which can play a significant role. Huoyed nodded seriously, indicating that it would work hard. At Huoyed's current level, the healing ability it exerts can only work on ordinary level Electabuzz. It is not very effective for undertaking, and the other 3 minor injuries can be cured, but more serious injuries will take longer to heal, and the cost effectiveness is not high. Therefore, Zhang Xingyun used advanced medicine to treat the serious injuries he suffered during this period. The expenditure on medicine is another major expenditure after resources. Advanced medicine is not cheap, but it is very expensive, but the effect is good. A small part of Zhang Xingyun's harvest is a purchase of these advanced medicines. Once the flower leaf pedicle evolves, it can be used together with these advanced medicines, which can reduce a lot of expenses. Now the qualification of the flower leaf pedicle is light green, and this evolution is very important to improve its qualification as much as possible. The top light stone, fairy gem, and arc moon essence are already. It is not a big problem to break through to dark green. The probability of sign qualification is still not high. We must hurry up to make advanced energy blocks so as to slowly improve the qualification. In the next period of time, the strength of the elves will steadily increase, and Zhang Xingyun is also studying the energy block of Yuanling. In a blink of an eye, the time came to January 15th, and Zhang Xingyun came to the classroom early on this day, because Wang Yu had told him that this final exam would be a joint exam with other schools. The results of this joint exam will determine the allocation of educational resources in the future. Last time, because of Zhang Xingyun's performance, Changning No. 9 Middle School received more resources. Once the resources are abundant, more resources will be cultivated on students, so that students will become stronger. In the next competition, they can get good results again, and the school can get more resources. Form a virtuous circle and slowly develop the school. This requires the efforts of teachers and students. For example, if some of the resources are swallowed up after being issued by the Education Bureau and less is used for students, it will cause a counterproductive effect. The teachers and leaders of Changning No. 9 Middle School are very good and will not embezzle resources. Therefore, with the help of Zhang Xingyun, Changning No. 9 Middle School has made great progress and its comprehensive strength has been greatly enhanced. Everyone, be quiet, let me tell you the rules of the game. Wang Yu said loudly, after walking into the classroom of class 20. The class became quiet and waited for Wang Yu's speech. The venue for this league is No. 1 Middle School, so we will take the school bus to go together. The competition is a traditional battle. Unlike the previous one elves battle, this time it will be 3 elves competing. That's why we brought the top 10 students from our school this time. Okay, do you have any questions? If you have any, just say it, and I will give you a reply. After Wang Yu finished speaking, he looked at the students in the class quietly. They could understand the top 10 that Wang Yu mentioned. Just like last time, only those with ordinary combat power could participate. The performance of the top 10 students can also reflect the general strength of this school. Then 10 people were selected. Zhang Xingyun and Nangang Yao must be among the 10 people. Others such as Yi Crossing, Fang Hangjian and others were also there. The 8 of them were familiar with Zhang Xingyun. They got on the school bus soon. This time, Wen Qingxiang led the team again, and Wang Yu and another female teacher followed. Soon the school bus arrived at No. 1 Middle School, and everyone was taken to the arena of No. 1 Middle School by the reception teacher of No. 1 Middle School, which was also the elf battlefield. At this time, many schools had already arrived, and they were already sitting there, including Experimental High School, Noble High School, and No. 7 Middle School. After they sat down, several people who were about the same age as Vice Principal Wen came to talk, and then sat on the rostrum together. When Zhang Xingyun looked at the students from other schools, he saw many familiar faces, like Zuki and Shen Duanfeng who used the red-faced dragon in the field combat last time. There was also Zhu Ying, the ability user he met in the Rookie Cup. Those who can come to participate in this league are all students ranked in the top 10 in the school, and their strength will not be bad. Soon, the battle began, and Zhang Xingyun's matching result came out. The student he played against was a sweet-looking girl from No. 7 Middle School. At this time, Wang Yu sent him a piece of information, and asked him to take a look. Looking around, Yi Crossing and the others also received it. Clicking in, there are some student profiles inside, so that you can roughly know the situation, and will not appear to know nothing. Although Zhang Xingyun is very confident that with Nidoking's current strength, plus his ability increase, there are only 1 or 2 students present who can fight him head on, but out of usual caution, he still has to look through it. It's always right to see and listen more. Hey Xingyun, there are still a few strong students this time, have you noticed? Yi Crossing came over and pointed at the information on his phone. Yeah, I know roughly, these appeared last time, and it's been a few months. We are getting stronger, and they can't stand still. Yi Crossing was referring to Zuki and Huaziaoyan. Chapter 236 First Victory. Look at your opponent. How is it? Are you sure? Yi Crossing was connected to a girl's interface, which was the opponent Zhang Xingyun matched. I'm sure, the late ordinary level is not a big problem for me. Zhang Xingyun replied. The girl he was about to play against was named Ziyun. According to the information, the strongest one was a beautiful flower, with the strength of the late ordinary level. Of course, this was shown in the information, and the details were not known yet. Only after the match would it be clear. Zhang Xingyun believed that she should also know her information at this time. On the other side, at the experimental high school, a girl looked at Zhang Xingyun's information and fell into deep thought. She was Ziyun. The information she saw now showed that Zhang Xingyun's strength might have reached the elite level, and he was a capable person, an opponent who needed to be paid attention to. I guess this is it this time. According to the information, I'm not an opponent. Forget it. If I lose, I lose. At least I have to see his level. Ziyun said secretly, looking at the screen on the field. At this time, the second game of the game was in progress, and it was his turn in the next game. Zuki won. Please invite Zhang Xingyun and Ziyun, players of the third match, to come on stage within 15 minutes. The battle on the field was over. Amidst the applause, Zuki walked down, and Zhang Xingyun walked up. Don't be eliminated so early. I'm looking forward to fighting with you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. When they passed by, the two exchanged a few words, and then Zhang Xingyun stepped onto the battlefield. Ziyun also arrived at the battlefield. At the command of the referee, they both threw out their elves. The ordinary midterm Moon Hanging Leaf and the ordinary midterm Cane Squirtle appeared. In terms of attributes, the Bayleaf has a slight advantage, but this problem is not a big problem. Cane Squirtle will lose to it. Zhang Xingyun used the system to scan the Bayleaf and obtained its information. Name, Bayleaf, female, attribute, grass characteristics, lush qualification, dark green strength, ordinary late stage skills, impact, call, leaf blade, photosynthesis, magic leaf, self-motivation, energy ball. Overall, this Bayleaf is still a very good Pokémon, and it has also been trained by its trainer, and the skills it has configured are relatively comprehensive. The game begins. Bayleaf, use Leaf Blade. Ziyun gave the order in the first time, letting Bayleaf launch an attack. Kamisto, Wave Missile Defense. Kamisto was surrounded by 3 wave missiles, and Stow blocked it in front of him, and the attacking Leaf Blade was blocked. After blocking the wave missiles, there was still some strength left. Kamisto wave missile attack. Stow's eyes condensed, and he activated the energy in his body. The originally dim wave missiles lit up, and fired at Bayleaf. Bayleaf Magic Leaf. Cramstottle, get close to it, and use the freezing punch. While Bayleaf was blocking the wave missiles, Cramstottle quickly moved forward and approached. Cramstottle's freezing punch hit Bayleaf's body, knocking it back several steps. Cramstottle, pave the way with freezing ray, prepare the wave missiles. Cramstottle used freezing ray to freeze a path, and slashed through the ice. While slashing through the ice, wave missiles were still condensed in his hands. Bayleaf Shadow Clone. Ziyun tried to use Shadow Clone to avoid this attack, but Zhang Xingyun was least afraid of this skill. The launched wave missile formed an arc and hit Bayleaf's real body in Ziyun's unbelievable eyes. Don't forget that I'm a person with special abilities. Shadow clones of this level can't confuse me. Zhang Xingyun explained that this was a student competition, so he just reminded her. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot that you are a capable person. Be careful. I won't show mercy. Yeah, me too. Then a wave of water followed by a water cannon, and Squirtle launched a blanket attack, leaving no time for reaction. Bayleaf certainly fought back, but the effect was not ideal. Squirtle defeated Bayleaf at the cost of minor injury and won the first victory. This shouldn't be his full strength. This Squirtle is so strong. He is worthy of being the leading student of number 9 middle school. Try your best, Xingyun said secretly. From the information, she learned that Zhang Xingyun's trump card is an Nidorino. Now if she can't even beat Squirtle, don't even think about seeing Zhang Xingyun's other Pokémon, and can't expose his strength to provide reference for classmates. Later, Xingyun sent out a late-stage ordinary leaf Pokémon, which surprised Zhang Xingyun. The information showed that her leaf Pokémon was only in the middle stage of ordinary, so it seems that these data are still inaccurate. Squirtle and leaf Pokémon started fighting. The combat power of the late normal leaf spirit is much stronger than that of the Bayleaf. After facing it, Stottle did not have the same ease as Bayleaf. The leaf spirit was very fast. It found the right opportunity around Stottle and attacked forward. Fortunately, Stottle's waveguide training was still good, and he could react in time with waveguide sensing. Bang! The waveguide and the energy ball collided, and Stottle and leaf spirit were both shaken away. Xingyun was a little disappointed after looking at the leaf spirit. She originally thought that she could rely on the speed and strength of the leaf spirit to make a comeback. It was not easy without this Stottle. He had a deep development of waveguide. The mid-normal Stottle faced the late normal leaf spirit. Even though his attributes were restrained, he still fought back and forth. Zhang Xingyun was very satisfied with Stottle's performance. In the wild, he often let Stottle fight against the late normal Pokémon. Now he was fighting against a trainer's late normal Pokémon. Compared with the Pokémon in the wild, this leaf Pokémon was still stronger. The students who can come here are all excellent students from each school, and they are all talented in this aspect of trainers. On the field, after being possessed by the spirit, the strength of Squirtle was increased, and he quickly dealt with the leaf Pokémon. However, after 2 battles, Squirtle's physical strength was not much, and it was finally ended by the Beauty Flower sent by Xingyun. But it also severely damaged Beauty Flower. This is also Zhang Xingyun's purpose for Squirtle to fight against it, so that it can fight more when it is not in good condition. Zhang Xingyun just now can also let Squirtle come back, but the Pokémon that has not been defeated is incomplete, and it still needs to experience the feeling of losing the ability to fight. It is best not to do it in the wild, but now it is a competition in the school. It is still okay. For the next Pokémon, Zhang Xingyun sent out Flower Leaf D. As expected, Flower Leaf D defeated Beauty Flower cleanly and neatly, and won this game for Zhang Xingyun. Zhang Xingyun was also able to advance. Finally, after Zhang Xingyun shook hands with Xingyun, he walked off the battlefield amid applause. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 237 Young Jealous vs Raichu. Hahaha, you're amazing. You didn't even give way. Look, her eyes are red. Were you embarrassed when you shook hands with her? After walking off the field and reaching the square of number 9 middle school, Yi Crossing joked. No, as a trainer, failure is common. If you want to die over this, you'd better not be one. The wild is even more cruel. Zhang Xingyun took the drink handed over by Yi Crossing, drank it, and said slowly, yeah, Xingyun makes sense. I think so too. Chen Yu chimed in. She agreed with Zhang Xingyun's statement. After all, it was a fact. In the trainer industry, there are still fewer girls than boys, but in the breeder industry, there are more girls than boys. Trainers are quite dangerous. If you want to make a lot of money, you can only do risky things, such as hunting in the wild. Breeders are very good and safe. Don't look down on us girls, okay? But Xingyun, you were really quick just now. That girl was about to surrender. You gave the order too quickly, and she didn't have time to say it. Maybe she felt sorry for the elf. Nangang Yeo also spoke up. I saw that she was very hesitant, so I gave the order. Zhang Xingyun, who was sitting next to him, said, come on, Nangang, class leader, win the game, and strive for a good ranking. Okay. The two said at the same time. What about me? Yi Crossing said. You just go with the flow. Wow, you just go with the flow, but I just go with the flow. You have the opposite sex but no humanity. I misjudged you. Yi Crossing said in a funny way, causing the two girls to laugh. Then you come on. That's more like it. After chatting and gossiping with his classmates for a while, Fang Hongjian also won and came back. There was not just one battlefield on the field, but 4, and the game was going on at the same time. Congratulations. Hahaha, you too. I saw you win. Fang Hongjian replied with a smile. He was in a good mood for his first win. Okay, I'm going. Bless me, everyone. Chen Yu stood up and waved to everyone. Come on, class monitor. Come on. Not long after Chen Yu went up, Nangang Yao and Yi Crossing also went up. Zhang Xingyun watched with everyone and cheered them on. After a while, Chen Yu came back. She was eliminated. This time she faced a student from number 1 middle school. She used all her tricks but still lost. She only seriously injured the last alpha that student. It's a pity that I lost in the first game. It's up to you guys next time. Just do your best. Leave it to us next time. Well, that person is not weak. It's normal for you to lose to him. Zhang Xingyun and others comforted. The people present were the leading students of each school. It was normal for them to fail. Later, Yi Crossing and Nangang Yao also came back one after another. Both of them successfully defeated their opponents and advanced to the next game. After one round, only 5 people from number 9 middle school entered the next round. They were Zhang Xingyun, Nangang Yao, Yi Crossing, Fang Hongjian, and He Jingwen. He Jingwen's Slowpoke evolved into Slow Hippopotamus, and its strength has also reached the late stage of the ordinary. With some superpowered skills, its combat power is not low. Everyone, keep up the good work. Wang Yu encouraged everyone on the side. He was still very optimistic about the remaining 5 students, especially Zhang Xingyun and Nangang Yao, who were very likely to become the first again, provided that they did not meet again. Time passed by minute, and it was time for Zhang Xingyun to play again. This time, he also ended in victory. He did not let Nidoking and Pidgeot come out and defeated the opponent and successfully advanced. Nangang Yao and the others were almost the same. In this way, after round of competition, Zhang Xingyun advanced to the competition with his strong strength, and all the opponents he met were defeated by him. Yi Crossing and He Jingwen were eliminated in the latest round, and now there are still 3 people from number 9 middle school in the top 12. At this point, except for 1 or 2 ordinary level trainers like Fang Hongjian, the others are elite. In this match, Zhang Xingyun drew Zuki, the trainer with red-faced dragon, the one he robbed in the last league. And Nangang Yao was matched with Zuiying, which made things exciting. Both of them are capable people, with good looks, and both are beautiful women, which is very interesting. Fang Hongjian was matched with Jiuo Yuan from number 1 middle school, a trainer with elite combat power. Against him, Fang Hongjian's chances of winning are not great. The difficulty of fighting across levels is still very great. On the field, Zhang Xingyun and Zuki stood opposite each other, looking at each other. I have elite combat power, so you must have it too. Of course. That's good. Then go all out and have a hearty fight. I'm curious about your strength. Okay. 3, 2, 1 game begins. Come out, Raichu. Young Kiris has decided to be you. Chuyoki hey, I have the advantage in attributes this time. Zhang Xingyun looked at the elves on the field and said with a smile. It's still unknown who will win. Raichu, a flash of lightning followed by a 1,000,000-ton flying kick. Young Kiris is covered by a sandstorm. The field was covered with sand and dust, circling around young Kiris as the center point. After jumping into the sandstorm, Raichu rushed in one direction. Puff, Raichu kicked up it, and there was sand, and young Kiris at the original place had disappeared. Raichu swung his tail and smashed the flying rocks, using this to determine the location of young Kiris, and rushed over again. Unfortunately, the competition venue was a normal competition venue, and the concentration of the flying sandstorm was not high, so the damage to Raichu was still within its tolerable range. Bang, bang, bang. Raichu kicked away the rock blocks condensed by Ujiris one after another, and approached aggressively. Ujirasi turned the flying sand into a huge fist and smashed it towards Raichu, followed by a stream of mud. Ujira's quicksand hell. Raichu was dragged for a moment and hastily used electric balls to resist, but was repeatedly repelled. Ujira's earthquake, followed by rock slide, a double-sided attack. Ujira stomped his feet, and a ground-based energy spread out. When Raichu wanted to jump up, the rock slide also arrived. Bang! After smashing the rock slide, Raichu was powerless and fell to the ground and was hit by the earthquake. QIE ground type skills are extremely effective against the electric type Raichu. Young Kyrus continued to attack, and after a while, Raichu was defeated and fell down unwillingly. Young Kyrus just consumed some physical strength and was not injured or anything, in good condition. This time, he was lucky. The young Kyrus sent out suppressed Raichu, causing Raichu's basic skills to have little effect, and he easily won the victory. Chapter 238 Defeat Zuki. When did Xingyun get a young Kyrus? He cultivated it to the middle stage of the ordinary without saying anything. Yi Crossing looked at the green beast on the field and said in disbelief, I remember he also had a baby dragon. In this case, he has two quasi gods. It's unbelievable. Chen Yu was also surprised. Although her family was well off, it was still very difficult to get a quasi god. Nangang Yeo sat aside with a calm face and was not surprised. Quasi god. If everything goes well, I will have one too. Fang Hongjian looked at the young Kyrus on the field and murmured. His family was already preparing for him. If everything goes well, it will be in his hands during this period. When he thought of this, his heart beat more violently. Several bigwigs on the rostrum looked at Zhang Xingyun's performance and also admired it, secretly saying, this boy has unlimited future. On the field, after defeating Raichu, the young Kyrus was very excited because it defeated it with the strength of the middle stage of the ordinary. With the consent of the young Kyrus, it was not replaced. The rules of the game are that at the beginning, two trainers summon Pokémon at the same time, and then the winning trainer can choose to change Pokémon or not. Come out, Bronze Bell. Zhang Xingyun used the system to scan it. It has a light blue qualification and a full range of skills. It can be seen that it has been carefully cultivated by him. Its strength is close to the peak of ordinary. With its strength, it has the upper hand as soon as it enters the field. The sandstorm of young Kyrus was broken by it. At this time, a grating cannon bombarded young Kyrus, unstoppable. It penetrated the defense all the way, and the remaining attacks were bombarded on young Kyrus. Young Kyrus shouted to Zhang Xingyun, meaning that it needs to be amplified. Its opponent is not to be messed with. With its current strength, it can't take it down. Okay, spirit attachment. A stream of energy attached to young Kyrus, which greatly increased the energy fluctuations on young Kyrus. A fierce battle with Bronze Bell began. With the blessing of Zhang Xingyun, some of Bronze Bell's psychic skills did not work. The roar continued. Young Kyrus was not weak, and Bronze Bell was also very strong. They fought back and forth. With an explosion, young Kyrus fell down unwillingly. Bronze Bell was not in a very good condition either, as he had used up most of his energy. Thank you for your hard work, young Kyrus. Think carefully about the battle just now. The rest will be handed over to your companions. Zhang Xingyun said to the Pokéball, and then hung it on his belt, and took out another Pokéball, which was Nidoking's Pokéball. He did not plan to send other Pokémons. Nidoking had asked for battle many times in the Pokéball, but it had not been on the field until now, so he followed its wishes and let it appear. Come out, Nidoking. Nido. As soon as Nidoking came out, he roared at Bronze Bell on the field. His ferocious appearance made Bronze Bell retreat a few steps. Don't be scared, Bronze Bell. Even if it's an elite Pokémon, you're only one step away. Go head on and feel the elite opponent. The game begins. Nidoking, spray flames. Bronze Bell, fire the grating cannons to meet it. Boom. As the two attacks met, Nidoking's spray of flames pressed straight over Bronze Bell, light wall defense. A transparent light wall appeared in front of Bronze Bell, and the spray of flames was blocked as soon as it met. Nidoking added more strength, and a sound like glass breaking rang out, and the light wall condensed by Bronze Bell was shattered by Nidoking's spray of flames. The remaining force of the flames also attacked Bronze Bell's body. With a bang, Bronze Bell fell to the ground, using his combat ability. Thank you for your hard work, Bronze Bell. Have a good rest. Zuki picked up the Pokeball, put away the Bronze Bell, and said to Zhang Xingyun, your Nidoking is very strong. You should not have just advanced to the next level. Yes, I have been advanced for a while. No wonder, I will not admit defeat. Next, I will show you my strongest Pokémon, Red-Faced Dragon. The figure of Red-Faced Dragon appeared on the field. Compared with the first league, the momentum of Red-Faced Dragon at this time was even stronger. Its two dragon claws flashed with cold light, and its eyes were very sharp. It looked at Nidoking with a serious face. Its strength was at the early elite stage. It felt the power of Nidoking, but it would go all out. It still remembered that it was Nidorino who defeated it in that forest. Now it is even stronger. The game begins. Red-Faced Dragon, Dragon Claw. Nidoking, you too, Shadow Claw. The sound of hard objects colliding when the dragon claws collided with the shadow claws was very harsh. On the field, Nidoking beat Red-Faced Dragon to retreat step by step. Red-Faced Dragon was not as strong as Nidoking. Dragon Tail, Iron Tail. The two clashed, and Nidoking had the upper hand again. In the following moves, Nidoking had the upper hand. Zuki looked at the battle on the field with an unpleasant face. Red-Faced Dragon was already the most powerful elf among the elves he cultivated, but it seemed that he still couldn't beat Nidoking. Alas, this is a genius. I thought that after so much time, my strength has increased to elite and I can defeat him once, but I didn't expect him to be stronger. Forget it, no matter how hard I fight, I can't let down the training during this period of time. Zuki figured it out. It was unlikely that he would defeat Zhang Xingyun, so he would try his best. Last time in the wild trial ground, after being defeated by Zhang Xingyun, he was a little unconvinced and wanted to defeat him. Now it seems impossible, so he will fight to the end and live up to the training during this period of time. Nidoking's freezing punch pushed Red-Faced Dragon back several steps. After pulling away from him, he used the combo skill Cold Stabs and fired densely at Red-Faced Dragon. Red-Faced Dragon chopped hard, approached Nidoking, and used Street Knife. The ground next to Nidoking squirmed, and a wall of earth rose up. Street Knife hit the wall, collapsing it, splashing a cloud of dust. A fist with cold air hit Red-Faced Dragon, and knocked it to the ground. Nidoking ran, jumped up, and pressed down, like a mountain crushing down. Red-Faced Dragon, get out of the way. There was a loud bang, but unfortunately Red-Faced Dragon was not crushed and ran away. With Nidoking's current tonnage, if it was attacked by its mountain crushing down, it would definitely use its combat ability. Nidoking's Freezing Ray. Dragon's Wrath. Unfortunately, in front of Nidoking with the blessing of the Life Orb, Nidoking was still stronger. The Freezing Ray still dispersed the dragon's fury, and froze half of the Red-Faced Dragon's body. Nidoking, put an end to it. Destroy the Death Ray. Seeing that Zuki wanted to fight hard, Zhang Xingyun gave the order. With a loud bang, the Red-Faced Dragon lay on the ground, losing its ability to fight. Thank you. I'm at the elite level, but I still can't beat you. When I make a breakthrough, I will challenge you again, if I have a chance. Welcome. After a friendly handshake, Zhang Xingyun walked off the battlefield, and the applause this time was even more enthusiastic. Chapter 239 Poison Rose. After Zhang Xingyun sat down for a while, Fang Hongjian also came back. As expected, he still lost to Jiuyuan. How is it? Zhang Xingyun asked. Well, although I failed, I also gained something. That's good. After Fang Hongjian sat down, the two watched the match between Nangang Yao and Zhuang. Fang Hongjian said with some emotion, every time you and her enter the finals, it was like this last time, and it is also like this time. Haha, next time it will be you. In fact, this can only be said to be a problem of the strength of my and her Pokémon. This time, like this game, it is an elite level battle. Yeah. Fang Hongjian nodded. He also has the confidence that in the next league, his Pokémon will be promoted to the elite level. On the battlefield, the current battle is between Alakazam and Gardevoir. Both Pokémon are elite level and psychic Pokémon. Now is the critical moment. Both trainers have added their own superpowers and attached them to the Pokémon. The battle is very fierce, and there are visible ripples in the air on the battlefield. Figures were here and there, all fighting with teleportation. Alakazam, electromagnetic gun. Garvido, magic leaf. Alakazam and Garvido appeared on the field at the same time, using their moves. The two skills collided on the way, splashing clouds of dust. But the real masters were in the sky, bombarding each other. Zhuang's Alakazam's melee ability is not weak either. It can be seen that he has been specially trained. His explosive fist is as good as that of ordinary fighting elves. Garvido is not a simple person either. He also used his own advantages to start a battle. There were many figures of Alakazam and Garvido on the field. With the blessing of their own superpowers, it was difficult to distinguish the real from the fake. Such a wonderful superpowered battle aroused the cheers of the audience, and they all gave warm applause. Some supported Garvido, and some supported Alakazam. Alakazam had the most voices. Most of the people on the field were students from number 1 middle school, and they had the advantage in numbers. In the past few days of competition, many students and some people came to watch the game spontaneously. At this time, Alakazam revealed a flaw. Zhang seized the opportunity to expand the results, accumulate advantages, and finally wear down Alakazam. Alakazam has lost its ability to fight. Zhang wins this battle. The applause filled the battle hall again. Ha Gardevoir yides Gardevoir. Come on, wife beast. Which brother has spoken out his heart? Stand up and let me see. After a friendly handshake, Zhang returned to the rest area. Congratulations. Yeah, you too. Did Zhang Xingyun pass? As for me, I was terminated. Just like last time, I can't get in. Zhang Xingyun said with some regret. Come on, next time, let's get to the finals together. Okay. The broadcast in the battle hall sounded, announcing the temporary news. Take a break for 1 hour. Students who have entered the top 6, please note that the competition will start in 1 hour, and only one game will be played at a time. Please pay attention. Repeat it. Take a break for 1 hour now. Students who have entered the top 6, please note that the competition will start in 1 hour, and only one game will be played at a time. Please pay attention. There is an hour of rest time. You two should take a break. Wang Yu advised. After hearing this, Zhang Xingyun and Zhang both sat cross-legged on a cushion, with a faint glow on their bodies, and began to regulate their breathing. Their elves were still with the medical staff. For this league, a quasi-king level almost doll was transferred from the hospital to treat the injured elves and ensure that they could recover their combat effectiveness in a very short time. As a quasi-king level elf, almost doll may be a little weak in combat power, but in terms of treatment, it is indeed very strong. It is still okay to treat these elves that are at most elite level. Zhang Xingyun and others also calmed down and let the two of them recover, because the next battle to be carried out is the elite level. Time passed quickly, and when the time was almost up, Zhang Xingyun opened his eyes with a gleam in his eyes. Then Zhang opened her eyes and finished her rest. The opponent's match was also announced. Zhang Xingyun's opponent was Hua Xiaoyan, who possessed a quasi-god from the noble high school. Zhang Xingyun had also watched her match. Nian Milan was worthy of its name of quasi-god. It was very powerful. Judging from the energy Wava guide on its body, it was already in the middle elite stage. Zhang Xingyun guessed that judging from the performance of Nian Milan, who was in the middle elite stage, it could defeat even a late elite elf. I wonder if Nidoking, after being possessed by a spirit, can fight against it? What's the difference? Zhang Xingyun thought to himself. The complete quasi-god was not easy to deal with. Now, the top 6 were 2 from number 9 middle school, 2 from number 1 middle school, 1 from experimental high school, and 1 from noble high school. Amidst calls and applause, the two appeared on the battlefield. After a few words of conversation, under the announcement of the referee, both threw out the Pokeballs, and 2 Pokémon appeared on the battlefield. Electabuzz and Poison Rose. In terms of attributes, the grass-type Poison Rose was more advantageous, and this Poison Rose was also very good. Name: Poison Rose, female. Attributes: grass, poison. Characteristics: Poison Thorns. Qualification: light blue. Strength, ordinary. Late skills: growth, poison needle, paralysis powder, sun flame, shadow ball, charm, sword dance, grass knot, Flower Dance, Magic Leaf, Shadow Clone, Poison Rose, Seed Machine Gun, Electric Beast, Intercept the Power Grid, Run and Lay the Electromagnetic Field. Zhang Xingyun said telepathically. Hey boo! Electric Beast's hands flashed with sparks, lightning emanated from its body, condensed into a net, and then ran. With a flash of lightning, and the use of electromagnetic energy, it ran faster and faster. Poison Rose, Magic Leaf. In the game, Magic Leaf is a must-hit move, and in reality it is also a skill with a very high hit rate. Of course, if there are forced magic factors, such as the opponent's strength is too strong, Magic Leaf cannot attack the opponent. Defend the light wall, continue to lay. Hey cloth. Clang clang. Multiple magic leaves attacked the light wall used by Electabuzz, defending it, and Electabuzz ran, and laid the field. Electabuzz, is this an electromagnetic field? Poison Rose stopped it, and used the flower dance with all her strength. Electabuzz uses the power of electromagnetics to avoid it, and then quickly approach it, and use the flame fist. Electabuzz used the power of electromagnetics to jump up, with fire on its fist, and approached Poison Rose. Poison Rose Paralysis Powder. Electabuzz changed direction. Electabuzz faced the paralysis powder, so it could only avoid it first and attack from the side, and Poison Rose took the opportunity to distance itself. Chapter 240 Elegant Cat. Electivus. Follow-up, Electromagnetic Cannon. Hey boo! Both are ordinary level Pokémon, and Poison Rose's attributes are still advantageous. Electivus has laid a good electromagnetic field, and using the power of electricity, it can jump up and close the distance with Poison Rose at a very fast speed. With Electivus's close combat ability, Poison Rose is in danger once it gets close. Poison Rose also launched a counterattack, but the effect was not great, and the two of them were gradually getting closer. Poison Rose had a burnt fist mark on her body, and there were a few wisps of black smoke, and she was being hit by Electivus's fire fist. Electivus looked much better, with a few minor injuries on her body, which were left in the chase just now. Poison Rose, Energy Ball. Electivus Electric Ball. Boom. The two spherical energy collided, setting off a wave of air. Electric Beast uses electromagnetic force to trap him. Hey boo. Zzzz. The electricity on the ground was attracted by Electric Beast and then tried to trap Poison Rose, but Poison Rose also reacted in time and withdrew from the spot when the electricity condensed. Helpless Electric Beast could only lead the electric attack in advance. Poison Rose cried out in pain, and its arm was scratched by the lightning controlled by Electric Beast. Although it is a grass type Pokémon, it will also be injured when facing the attack of the electric type. Electric Beast uses distributed 100,000 volts. Hey boo! A strong lightning emerged from Electric Beast's body, turning into 4 small to small lightning whips, whipping Poison Rose from different angles. Zhang Xingyun also knew that the electric type moves would not cause much damage to Poison Rose, but naturally there would be some damage if it was used too many times. Surround yourself and use Flower Dance. It's blocked. Electabuzz's electromagnetic cannon, then electromagnetic levitation, charge. Zhang Xingyun cast a spirit attaching spell on Electabuzz, and Electabuzz's momentum changed, and the moves it used became more violent, bombarding Poison Rose repeatedly. Charge. Finish it with the Flame Fist. Electabuzz jumped out of the smoke caused by the moves, and with a few bangs, Poison Rose flew out from it, and lay on the ground, using its combat ability. Poison Rose has lost its combat ability. Please ask who is Iowan to send a Pokémon to fight. Should Electabuzz retreat? The next one is the elite level. Hey boo! Okay then. Electabuzz didn't want to retreat, because it also knew that the remaining 2 Pokémon were both elite level. If it retreated now, it would not be of much use if it came out again, and perhaps it didn't need to come out at all. It had great confidence in Nidoking and the others. I'll leave the elegant cat to you. Meow! An elegant and charming elegant cat appeared on the battlefield, looking at Electabuzz with a smile. Elegant cat, a pretty good Pokémon. After opening the system and scanning, the interface displayed the information of elegant cat. Name, elegant cat, female. Attributes, general characteristics, charming body qualification, deep blue strength, elite initial skills, singing, charming, continuous slaps, awakening power, blizzard, iron tail, 100,000 volts, return a favor, false bravery, charging beam. Elegant cat evolved from tailed cat using the moonstone. Elegant cat's body is cream colored, its ears and tail are purple, there are 3 thorns on the tip of the ear, and the inside is black. The shape of the tail is very similar to a flower bud, especially a tulip. The purple shawl on its body makes it look elegant and luxurious, and there are 2 purple balls with rods on each side of the shawl. Elegant cat, use charming. Meow. At this time, the electric beast only felt that the elegant cat lady opposite was calling it gently, looking at it affectionately, full of infinite tenderness. It is looking at me. Does it like me? Boss, I'm in love. The electric beast's heart is floating. That's not right. How come I'm flying in the sky and my body is still in so much pain? When Electabuzz woke up, it fell to the ground with a snap. Hey boo, Electabuzz shouted at the elegant cat with a grin. Electabuzz, you're still not careful enough. Hey boo. Electabuzz said a little embarrassedly, after brushing off the dust on his body. This elegant cat is something. He just called Electabuzz through telepathy, so it woke up so quickly. Otherwise, Electabuzz would have recovered after losing its fighting ability. Electabuzz, while the spirit attached effect is still there, I'll perform instant teleportation on you later. You better fight well. Hey boo with a whoosh, Electabuzz appeared next to the elegant cat and struck it with a lightning fist viciously. Electabuzz is going to kill a girl to prove his truth today. Female elves will only affect the speed of its punch. Meow. The elegant cat turned around and meowed. In the ear of the electric beast, the elegant cat was apologizing. The voice was very tactful and pleasant. The electric beast suddenly felt that being hit by it just now was not unforgivable. Hey boo. The electric beast's eyes came to their senses. Zhang Xingyun's voice came to his ears. It almost got hit again. Seeing that the electric beast had escaped from its charming effect so quickly, the elegant cat did not tempt it anymore. With a faint glow on his palm, he went forward. The elegant cat avoided the electric beast's fist at a tricky angle. With a few slaps, its slap fell on the electric beast's face. Then, there was another blizzard. Fortunately, Zhang Xingyun's instant movement allowed the electric beast to dodge, but then it was attacked by the elegant cat again. Hey boo. The electric beast stood trembling, looking at the elegant cat in front of him, muttering non-stop, and finally fell to the ground. When it faced the elegant cat today, it made a fool of itself in front of its trainer. It wanted to kill its sister to prove its truth, but was killed by the elegant cat. With reluctance, it lost consciousness. Electabuzz is a common level Pokémon, while the elegant cat is an elite level Pokémon. It is estimated that it has also undergone special training and has a very strong ability to seduce. Electabuzz was fooled at the beginning, but later, when it found that it could not be seduced, it defeated Electabuzz with its powerful strength. It seems that this elegant cat is not only charming, but also powerful. Thank you for your hard work, Electabuzz. Let your partner take over next. Pidgeot has decided to be you. Pyroraptor Pidgeot appeared, flapping its beautiful feathers, and looked down at the elegant cat on the ground in midair. It also saw what happened to Electabuzz just now, and it must be careful. I didn't expect Zhang Xingyun's Pidgeot to evolve into Pidgeot, and its strength is also elite. This means that he has 2 elite level Pokémon. When Pidgeot came out, Yi Crossing in the rest area said with some surprise, and Chen Yu and the others were also surprised. They thought Zhang Xingyun only had 1 elite, but they didn't expect that he suddenly had 2. They were still struggling at the ordinary level, but he already had 2 elite level elves. They could understand Nangan Yeo's behavior, but they all knew Zhang Xingyun's family background, and they admired him even more in their hearts. They had the help of their family, and were still like this, but he was stronger than them by relying on himself. Sure enough, there was still a gap between people. Chapter 241 Combo Skill Tornado. Pidgeot flapped its wings, and more than 10 solid air blades slashed towards Graceful Cat. There was a faint sound of air explosion. Meow. Graceful Cat was neither hurried nor slow. With a flash, she disappeared from the spot, dodging many air blades. The sound of whirring wind blew up the gravel on the field. The battlefield was raging, and Graceful Cat was in the center. Graceful Cat was in the raging wind, and it was a little difficult to open its eyes. Its forepaws were close to the ground. Its face was no longer as relaxed as when it was fighting against Electabuzz just now, and its posture was no longer as elegant as before. Graceful cat, 100,000 volts. Meow. Graceful cat used 100,000 volts at the Pidgeot fanning in the sky, and a bolt of lightning shot out in the wind. Avoid it, and then use Brave Bird from the side. Graceful cat, run. The Pidgeot in the sky had finished its preparation, wrapped in an energy coat, and dived towards Graceful cat, moving quickly on the ground. The Graceful cat's movement was very particular, left and right, but this time Pidgeot only needed to injure the Graceful cat. Pidgeot was already very close to the Graceful cat, and with a bang, Pidgeot pounced down to a rough position. The ground shook, and the Graceful cat was also touched by the attack. The running body staggered and fell to the ground, but quickly adjusted. After Pidgeot's Brave Bird, it rose into the air again, with its wings glowing like steel, and swooped down again. Graceful cat, shadow clone. Meow. On the field, more than a dozen Graceful cats appeared and ran together, but Pidgeot only pounced in one direction. Seeing this scene, Zhang also knew that Pidgeot knew where the true body of the Graceful cat was. Sure enough, the ability user is really difficult to deal with. First, the amplification technique, then the teleportation, and now even a shadow clone is useless. Zhang looked at Zhang Xingyun, who was glowing, and felt a little envious. She came from a good family, and her trainer was also talented, but she was not a power user yet. I have tried to practice, but the results are few. Unless there is a great opportunity, I will never become a capable person in this life. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The elegant cat on the ground used the charging beam to fight back, but it didn't work. Most of them were avoided by Pidgeot. After charging, it swooped down again, and then took off again. Elegant cat couldn't use any of its other skills. Pidgeot spread its wings at this moment, and spun its body. The wind on the field suddenly became stronger, and then a small tornado was caused with Pidgeot as the center, rushing towards Elegant cat. This is the combination skill Tornado Storm. The scale of Pidgeot's performance is not very large now, but the strong wind it caused can already interfere with Elegant cat. If this was in the wild, Elegant cat would still escape, but this is a competition field with a fixed place, and Pidgeot is compressing Elegant cat's space step by step. Zhang also discovered that it made Elegant cat use a powerful move, but unfortunately, with the current attack strength of Elegant cat, it is still within the range that Pidgeot can withstand, and it can't disperse its Tornado Storm. Disturbed by the tornado, Graceful cat's movement speed was affected. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Multiple air blades shot out from the center of the storm, attacking from different angles. For a moment, Graceful cat could only defend herself, and had no chance to fight back. If she continued like this, she would be defeated sooner or later. Unless she could break Pidgeot's combo, it was obvious that Graceful cat couldn't break it. Meow. Graceful cat's defense was broken, and she was attacked, and she let out a scream. Stop, I admit defeat in this battle. Zhang saw Graceful cat like this, and knew that there was no point in doing so, so she simply admitted defeat. Pidgeot, disperse. Pidgeot gradually dispersed his skills, and the field was in a mess, with large and small pits. This combo is very good. It can be seen that this is a talented trainer who knows how to reasonably use the advantages of Pokémon and develop combos. An old man with slightly white hair and a vigorous spirit on the rostrum praised. He is the old principal of No. 1 Middle School. In recent years, many leagues have been held in No. 1 Middle School, and he often comes to watch. Every year, there are refreshing trainers, such as Zhang Xingyun. What Mr. Lin said is very true. This trainer is a capable person himself, and he is also talented. His future is limitless. Guo Changming, the director of the Changning Education Bureau, said. Like the old principal, he is also a king level trainer, so he naturally has this vision. He is a student of No. 9 Middle School. This year, No. 9 Middle School has great luck. Two geniuses appeared at once. Liu Ning must be very happy. After the old principal saw the No. 9 Middle School logo on Zhang Xingyun, he also knew that he was a student from No. 9 Middle School. Old Liu must be very happy. Teacher, you also know what kind of person he is. Director Guo said on the side. He and Li Yuning, the principal of number 9 middle school, were classmates and graduated from number 1 middle school. They also had intersections with each other. At that time, their teacher was the old principal in front of them. King Xiang, your school has 2 geniuses this year. Even Elder Lin praised them highly. Haha, no way. When King Xiang on the side was also chatting with the people sitting around. Even the director of the education bureau came. When King Xiang and his friends naturally did not sit in the center position, but on the left side of the rostrum, together with the leaders of other schools. The education circle of a city is not very large, especially at the level of quasi-kings. It is even smaller, and everyone knows each other. And because of the wonderful performance of Zhang Xingyun and others, when King Xiang also received a lot of praise, which made him very useful. As a teacher, the proudest thing is that his students shine on the stage. Although Zhang Xingyun is only from his school, he is also his student, and he is proud of it. Vice Principal Wang was in a very good mood at this time. In previous years, the protagonists of the discussion were all from number 1 middle school or experimental school. The discussion of the big guys on the rostrum did not affect the 2 people on the battlefield. After the elegant cat lost its combat ability, who was Iao and naturally threw out a trump card elf, the quasi-god elf Sticky Beauty Dragon. Slimy Dew. Looking at the energetic and powerful Slimy Dew Dragon, Zhang Xingyun told Pidgeot to be careful, as this was a powerful opponent. This was his first time fighting a fully formed quasi-god spirit, so he was still looking forward to it. Pidgeot's biggest tornado advances. Pidgeot Zhang Xingyun's spirit attaching technique also attached itself to Pidgeot, and the tornado Pidgeot used this time was even more violent. Pidgeot looked very tired, but fighting was the fastest way to improve, and this process was necessary. Slimy Dew Dragon, pray for rain. Slimy Dew. The sky over the battlefield was instantly covered with dark clouds, and a continuous drizzle of rain fell. The dripping rain increased Pidgeot's resistance, and the flying smoke and dust also dissipated. Chapter 242, Pidgeot's defeat. Whoosh, whoosh, affected by the falling rain. Pidgeot is still flapping its wings, maintaining. Nemulu Dragon, Dragon Wave. Nemulu. A strong dragon wave shot out from Nemulu Dragon's hand, and hit Pidgeot's combination skill with a bang. The combination skill tornado was broken by Nemulu Dragon. In the previous attack, not only was the combination skill broken, but Pidgeot was also injured. Drip, 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 drip on Pidgeot, wet its feathers, but the effect is still not great. Finally appeared, Nemulu Dragon. Through the rain and fog, Nemulu Dragon on the field was seen scanning with the system. Name, Slimy Dragon. Female. Attribute, Dragon characteristics, wet body qualification, light blue strength, elite midterm skills, impact, foam, dragon breath, reverse scale, pray for rain, crazy, dragon wave, hail, forbearance, 100,000 volts, thunder, sleep, charm, dragon fury, freezing ray, posturing. Very high qualifications, and many skills, worthy of its name as a quasi-god spirit. This is a powerful opponent. Interesting. Seeing that Slimy Dragon is so powerful, Pidgeot also inspired fighting spirit. It would be very refreshing to defeat such an opponent, but it would definitely not be easy. Slimy Dragon, who is tall and strong, is actually very docile. Most of its body is purple and very smooth. It has a huge tail, and there are green spots on the tail and neck. The 2 tentacles are strong, and can attack, or grab the enemy and throw it out. There is mucus all over its body, and the mucus on the hands and chin is the most concentrated and obvious. Therefore, it is also nicknamed Snot Dragon, but as a quasi-god, it is undoubtedly powerful. Pidgeot, get close to it with the wind. Pidgeot flapped his wings, followed the airflow, and his speed increased a lot. He pounced on the dragon, with a cold light on his claws. Dragon, let it see your strength. Dragon. With a muffled sound, Pidgeot's wings flapped on the dragon. And Dragon was not to be outdone, and also fought back. Dragon can attack with its retractable horns, and the power is equivalent to the power of 100 professional boxers' punches. There is a thick layer of fat under its slimy skin, which can remove the enemy's attacks. It is not weak in close combat at all, and it has also been specially trained. Bang bang. After Dragon used the crazy attack, Pidgeot also used close combat. Both Pokémons were injured, and Pidgeot lost a lot of feathers, which shows that Pidgeot is not easy. As they fought, Pidgeot found that dragon did not fight back, but silently injured its attacks, which made it feel something was wrong. At this time, a faint red light was also emanating from the body of the Nyan dragon, which should be preparing a move. Pidgeot, retreat, this is Ninin. Pidgeot, after hearing Zhang Xingyun's order, Pidgeot kicked his claws and flapped his wings, quickly leaving Nyan dragon. Ninin, a red beam shot out and shot at the distant Pidgeot. Pidgeot had not yet completely taken off, and his speed was not very fast. Seeing the red light coming, his wings turned into steel and lost their steel wings to block in front. Pidgeot gathered power and the beam dissipated. Nyan dragon's Ninin was discovered relatively quickly, and the damage to Pidgeot was still limited. Pidgeot soared into the sky, let out a long cry, wrapped in an energy coat, and rushed down. It was Brave Bird. Ninin Pidgeot, in the brave bad state, was blocked by Nyan dragon's guard. Seeing that it was almost done, he withdrew the guard shield and used the Ninin move to withstand the remaining power of Pidgeot. Swoosh, a red light flashed. Pidgeot flew backwards from the smoke, and Meru also took a few steps back. This time Meru won. Pidgeot suffered more damage than it, and then a freezing ray followed. Pidgeot appeared on the other side of the attack, avoiding the freezing ray. This was Zhang Xingyun's teleportation. The figure flashed and appeared next to Meru again, and started a close battle. After attacking for a while, he teleported again and pulled away. Zhang Xingyun also assisted in the battle. Pidgeot's performance was enough. It was time for him to assist instead of commanding from the side. Seeing this, Huaxiaoan was choked with a breath, angry and powerless. This is also the difficulty of the ability user. Just the skill of teleportation has many wonderful uses, not to mention that the ability user has other skills. On the field, the Sky accumulated power to complete the brave bad move, and then teleported to appear behind Meru, and rushed over fiercely. Well, I thought I could defeat Pidgeot at the lowest cost, but now it seems impossible, so let's trade injuries for injuries. A resolute look flashed across Huaxiaoan's face, and she commanded Meru. Meru was uncharacteristically aggressive in its attack style. She also discovered that there was an interval between teleports, so she would use this interval to give Pidgeot a hard blow. Meru also felt the mood of its trainer, and its eyes turned red. It traded injuries for injuries, and used specific combat techniques to hold Pidgeot back. Then, with a strange force, it suppressed Pidgeot, and condensed a cold freezing ray at its mouth, which spurted over. The suppressed Pidgeot stretched out its steel wings for defense, and with a bang, another move of Dragon Wave hit Pidgeot. Pidgeot also fought hard, and fought Meru in close combat with Meru, not caring whether he was injured or not, and traded injuries for injuries, inflicting the greatest damage to Meru. After possessing the spirit, Pidgeot still had some gaps with Melon in terms of hard power and physical fitness. Melon still had the upper hand in this close combat. When Zhang Xingyun lost his teleport and moved Pidgeot out, Pidgeot was already seriously injured, but Melon also had multiple wounds and looked only slightly better than it. Okay, just do your best. Pidgeot endured the pain and used Brave Bird, which was more powerful than the previous times. He rushed over, crossed the dragon's breath, and hit Melon's protective shield. Crackling, then there was a loud bang, and Pidgeot flew back and lay on the ground. Although he did not lose his fighting ability, he had reached his limit. This move also caused some damage to Melon, and Pidgeot was satisfied. He secretly thought that he still had to work hard in training. Today, he still couldn't beat Melon, so he had to keep working hard. I give up. Then, at the signal of the referee, Pidgeot was put back into the Pokeball. Actually, you don't have to fight so hard, Zhang Xingyun said softly to the Pokeball. The Pokeball vibrated a few times in response. It was his mistake just now. He didn't expect the sudden attack of the smelly dragon, which led to Pidgeot's current situation. Come out, Nidoking. The rest is up to you. Nidoking's purple and burly figure appeared on the field, roared to the sky, and stared at Smelly Dragon. Chapter 243, Nidoking appears. Nido, after the amplification of the spirit attaching technique and the blessing of the life orb, the energy fluctuations displayed by Nidoking are no weaker than those of the Smelly Dragon. What a strong momentum this Nidoking has. Who as Ayaoi said in surprise as she looked at the aggressive Nidoking. After seeing the look of Nidoking, she knew that the situation was not favorable for her. Nidoking was in his prime, while Smelly Dragon had just fought with Pidgeot, consuming a lot of physical strength and was injured. Who as Ayaoi was not sure whether she could defeat the strong and burly Nidoking in front of her, but at this point, she would try her best to fight. Even if she lost, it didn't matter. With the announcement of the referee, the battle resumed. "Be careful, I will go all out," Zhang Xingyun said to Hu as Ayaoi. "Okay, I also want to have a good fight," Hu as Ayaoi said with a bright smile. "Nidoking, prepare to teleport, show your best, Nido." The next moment, Nidoking's figure disappeared from the spot and appeared on the left side of the slime dragon. The slime dragon was also ready, and Nidoking used his skills as soon as he appeared. With a muffled bang, the slime dragon retreated several steps. In the wrestling with Nidoking just now, it lost. Nidoking took advantage of the situation and followed up with a combo skill Cold Spike and shot it at the slime dragon. Slim seeing these sharp stones wrapped in ice, the slime dragon immediately used the defense to defend against this move. Crackling, the Cold Spike hit the defense shield of the slime dragon, making a muffled sound. Nidoking, use the Mud Wave. With Nidoking as the center, a purple wave of energy appeared, rolling violently, and rushed to the slime dragon. "We are also going to use Mud Wave on Melu Dragon." Sizzle, sizzle, the two mud waves met, making a sizzle sound. After a stalemate, Nidoking's Mud Wave still had the upper hand and gradually pushed towards Melu Dragon. While the Mud Wave hadn't arrived yet, Melu Dragon blew a dragon breath towards the ground, and with the help of the thrust, jumped to another place. In the anime, Zyos's Melu Dragon also has a similar operation. Earthquake followed by Cold Spike. Nidoking stomped his feet on the ground, and dense patterns appeared under Nidoking's feet, flashing with light, and went towards Melu Dragon. There was also Cold Spike in the air. Melu Dragon, use Snin, come on. Melu Boom, the smoke and dust dissipated, revealing the figure of Melu Dragon. At this time, the red light on its body was already very bright. With a whoosh, a beam of light that was thicker than before shot over Nido. In front of Nidoking, 7 solid earth walls suddenly rose up. Bang, bang, bang. The counterattack of the slimy dragon broke through the 7 earth walls one after another. When it reached Nidoking, it was no longer as powerful as before. Nidoking defended a little, but it did not cause much damage to it. The slimy dragon's skill of endurance is also a very good skill. As long as it is within the range it can withstand, it can use a more powerful shockwave. Charge. The next second, Nidoking appeared next to the slimy dragon again, and swung a freezing fist. Slimy the freezing fist was blocked by the slimy dragon's dragon tail, and with the help of the reverse scale, it fought hard and repelled Nidoking. A wave of dragon power condensed in an instant, and rushed directly to Nidoking. The corners of Nidoking's mouth were filled with yellow starlight, and the destruction death light was also formed. The two attacks met and were deadlocked. Nido the life orb on Nidoking flashed a faint light, increasing the power of the destructive death light. Slimy Meloth Dragon was not to be outdone, and increased the supply of dragon energy. With a bang, both were affected by the airwaves raised by this skill, and took several steps back. Slimy Meloth Dragon, just do your best. Seeing Meloth Dragon's look, Hu as Ayaoi was very worried, but she couldn't think of what to say. She knew that Meloth Dragon wanted to fight hard, burst out all its physical strength and energy, and fight with Nidoking, hoping to bring her victory. There is still hope of victory in this way. Otherwise, it will be defeated sooner or later when facing Nidoking. Meloth Dragon wants to fight to the death, to win the victory for its training, and to see the happy smile of the trainer. Klingmelon's eyes became even more red, and the dragon type moves it used were even more powerful. It confronted Nidoking head on, and beat Nidoking back step by step. Nidoking, hold on for this wave, and we'll win. Nido the current situation is nothing more than Nidoking being defeated by Melon when it explodes, or Nidoking holding on to the end, and when Melon's explosion is over, it will be easy to deal with it. Although Melon's behavior is very commendable, Nidoking now only wants to defeat Melon, because it also wants to win for its trainer. Seeing Melon's appearance, Nidoking is also excited to see the prey, so he communicates with Zhang Xingyun. Nido, you want to fight head on? Test yourself? Nido okay, since you want to, then do it. With Nidoking's defense, it is no problem to resist Melon's attack. Both Nidoking and Zhang Xingyun are very confident about this. Since Nidoking wanted to fight with Melu Dragon, this match was not very important, so Zhang Xingyun let it go. Besides, it was not certain that it would lose. After getting Zhang Xingyun's consent, Nidoking also opened fire with full force and fought with Melu Dragon in the reverse scale state. The fists of the two elves collided, and they were evenly matched for a while. The two horns on the head of Melu Dragon could also attack. Bang bang bang, a few punches hit Nidoking's head. Nidoking was affected and was also pushed back several steps. This time he suffered a loss. Melu Dragon approached again and fought in close combat. Nidoking also fought hard, but they were at a disadvantage and suffered a lot. The power of the quasi-god elves can also be seen here. The powerful Nidoking was also repeatedly blasted back. A muffled buzzing sound appeared, and Nidoking and Melu Dragon started to fight again. Both used the destruction death light at the same time and blasted each other. The two Pokémons fought each other in a wilder and more frenzied way. Such a passionate scene also caused loud cheers from the audience. The big brothers nodded in affirmation, the younger students looked at them in admiration, and the classmates praised them. The trainers of the two Pokémons were standing aside, clenching their fists, and staring at the Pokémons on the field. Huaxiaoan was a little nervous and her face turned red, while Zhang Xingyun looked calmer. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 244 Defeat and Conspiracy. Haha, this is a Pokémon battle. The old principal on the rostrum said with emotion. The battle on the field reminded him of his youth. At that time, he was also full of blood and passion like these young people. He treated Pokémon wholeheartedly and Pokémon would fight for him. This kind of emotional bond with Pokémon is the true meaning of a trainer. Like the two Pokémon on the field, they are fighting for their respective trainers, and they all want to win and win honor for their training. The conditions are much better than their generation. At least in the field, their lives can be safe. At that time, there was no such thing as a competition. They went directly to the field, and most of them were in danger of their lives. Teacher is right. Director Guo echoed on the side. He also came from the student days, and could feel the bond with Pokémon. On the battlefield, the status of the two Pokémons gradually declined. Nidoking was not very weak, because the effect of the spirit attachment had passed, while Melaleuca was in a state of reverse scale and its status declined sharply. Nidoking, here comes your chance. Rock shatters. Nido. As soon as the state of the slimy dragon weakened, the Nidoking who was fighting against it also felt it at the first time, and increased the strength of his hands, and repelled the slimy dragon one after another. The slimy dragon was still struggling, and could only defend itself. It was very unwilling in its heart, but it had used all the means it could, but it still couldn't beat Nidoking. Slimy dragon found that it was flying up, and was knocked away by Nidoking. With a bang, it lay on the ground. It wanted to get up and fight, but found that it couldn't get up. There were pains all over the body. After struggling several times, it didn't get up. Nidoking watched quietly from the side, but didn't make a move, but was ready to attack at any time. I give up. Huaxiaoan shouted loudly, after seeing the appearance of Slimy Dragon, and then ran to the side of Slimy Dragon and said, "Thank you for your hard work, but you have tried your best. Come in and rest first." Nyan Milu responded, turned into a red light, and entered the Pokeball. Papa. The applause was thunderous, and they were also applauding for this wonderful game. After Huaxiaoan wiped her face, she shook hands with Zhang Xingyun. "I lost this time. I will train hard when I go back, and look forward to fighting you again next time." Welcome. Zhang Xingyun replied with a smile. After a few words, the two walked down and returned to the rest area. "It's really wonderful. I didn't expect you to be so strong. It's really annoying to compare with others. I'm still hovering at the ordinary level, and you can beat the elite level quasi-god. The gap is not a little bit." After Zhang Xingyun came to the rest area, Fang Hongjian and others came over, and Yi Crossing complained on the side. Chen Yu and others next to him also nodded to show their agreement. Wang Yu looked at Zhang Xingyun's appearance and nodded with satisfaction. His student is so excellent, and as a teacher, he is also proud of it. Congratulations on your promotion. Nangang Yeo also spoke. Yes, thank you. Then he chatted with Yi Crossing and others lively. Soon, Nangang Yeo also played the game, and everyone cheered for her in the rest area. Now Zhang Xingyun defeated Huazai and entered the top 3. If Nangang Yeo also won, then 2 people from Changning No. 9 Middle School would enter the finals in this league. In addition, there is a chance of a bye, so at least one person will enter the finals. The opponent Nangang Yeo faced on the field was also strong. The first shot was an ordinary peak level Charmeleon, and it was evenly matched with a wind speed dog. In the end, the wind speed dog won and defeated the Charmeleon. Another elite level duck-billed flame beast appeared on the field, and the wind speed dog was defeated soon. Then the Kixie bluebird appeared and fought with the duck-billed flame dragon. The fire energy and dragon energy filled the field, causing waves. Then the 2 elves fell down and showed combat capabilities at the same time. There was only one elf left between the 2, which was very critical. Nangang Yeo still sent out her Gardewa, while the opponent sent out the King of Leave. This King of Leave was very burly, with knotted muscles and fierce eyes. Unlike the lazy King of Leave, this King of Leave looked very energetic. After the battle started, the King of Leave's attack was also very swift. He didn't even have to rest after one move, but instead stopped to rest after several moves in a row. This shows the extraordinariness of this King of Leave. Gardewa's performance was also very eye-catching. For a while, the fight was very intense. In terms of attributes, no one took advantage. In terms of strength, both Pokémon are mid-elite, and their combat power is extraordinary. The 2 trainers are not simple people either. The tactics and combat performance they displayed were very eye-catching, which made the spectators exclaim and cheer for them. In the battle hall, a middle-aged man dressed as a vendor tilted his head and said softly, "I'm 003, I'm ready, requesting instructions, requesting instructions." Received. Your mission is now issued. Your mission is to get close to the target person Yuan and take the opportunity to kill him if possible. A voice came from the tiny communicator on his shoulder. Received. The ordinary looking man looked at the square Yuan and smiled maliciously. There are many people like him in the battle hall. Next to the chairman, a woman dressed as an assistant also leaned on his shoulder and whispered softly, "Zhang Xingyun, Nangang Yeo, Fang Hongjian. This is not easy to do. You have to wear the props. It's not easy to deal with people with special abilities." A young man pushing a cart, after looking at the crowd of number 9 middle school, pushed silently. "Okay, sir, I will definitely make a fuss and try to kill more direct trainers." A man in the work clothes of the battle hall said respectfully to the phone. The man has a big face and small eyes, and a slightly fat body. He looks very honest and simple. In fact, he is a member of the rocket team who has been floating in number 1 middle school for many years. Changning number 1 middle school, as the leading high school in Changning City, naturally has undercover personnel, not only in number 1 middle school, but also in the experimental school and the noble school. They also planted personnel in other schools. You have printed the superpower mark, right? I printed it on the adult. Well, this time we have the adult's Alido to take care of you. You can do it without worry. After teleporting, retreat along the original planned route, if unfortunately you are caught. A hoarse male voice came from the mobile phone. "Don't worry, sir, I know what to do," the man said respectfully to the phone. After a while, after hanging up the phone, the man walked out of the passage, as if nothing had happened. Chapter 245, Sudden Attack. Everyone, we will act after the next game is over. Remember to be quick. Seeing that there was no one in the corridor, Tong Cheo whispered a few words to his shoulder before walking out. Tong Cheo was the name of this man, a member of Team Rocket who had been lurking in number 1 middle school for many years, and was now a staff member of the battle hall. He received an order from his superiors to make some noise here, and, if allowed, to kill some of the direct trainers. Although he didn't know the intention of the superiors, he just had to execute it according to the plan. On the field, Gardev was still used flexible tactics and many means to defeat the somewhat clumsy King of Leave and win this game. After the two shook hands in a friendly manner, they walked off the field and returned to the rest area. The people on the side of number 9 middle school cheered and rejoiced. Nangang Yeo also won. Now they have a great hope of winning the championship. Chen Yu and several girls in the class chatted around Nangang Yeo, while Zhang Xingyun was also on the side, chatting with classmates and watching the two people on the stage. One is Jiuo Yuan and the other is a student of experimental high school named Zhu Mingliang. Both of their Pokémon are quite powerful and are at the same level as Hua Xiaoyan. Compared with Zhang Xingyun and Nangang Yeo, they are not inferior. The battle on the field is between the Double Axe War Dragon and the Fanged Land Shark. Fanged Land Shark is the evolution of Round Land Shark, one of the dragon quasi gods. Fanged Land Shark is a bipedal dragon Pokémon that looks like a shark. Its base color is dark blue, red from the lower jaw to the middle of the abdomen, and blue-gray on the lower abdomen. It has 2 protrusions on its head, each with a circle of blue-gray stripes. It has a total of 4 fins on its body, 1 on each forearm, 1 on the back, and 1 on the tail. Its claws are white with single toes, its feet are 3 toes, and there are white bone spurs on its thighs. But Jiuo Yuan's Double Axe War Dragon still has the upper hand and suppresses Fanged Land Shark. Both Pokémon are pure-blooded dragon Pokémon. Although the Double Axe War Dragon is not a quasi-god Pokémon, it is also a very powerful dragon Pokémon. After defeating the Sharp-Tooth Land Shark, the Double Axe War Dragon faced the Ivory Pig. After a fierce battle, the Double Axe War Dragon and the Ivory Pig both fell on the field and lost their ability to fight. This Double Axe War Dragon is also very powerful. Under the condition of reverse attributes, it can also replace the Ivory Pig, which gives its trainer a great advantage. Then it was Jiuo Yuan's Jenga vs. Zhu Mingliang's Boscadora. The battle started again. Zhang Xingyun and Nangang Yeo and the audience watched the game intently. In this situation, Jiuo Yuan still has a greater chance of winning. That is to say, one of them must face Jiuo Yuan next. The 2 Pokémon he has now are both elite level, and the third Pokémon must be elite level as well. After simulating the battle in his mind, Zhang Xingyun found that, if he faced Jiuo Yuan and fought according to his idea, the chances of winning were still not low. Jiuo Yuan is strong, but he is not weak either. Jiuo Yuan has 3 elite level elves, and he also has almost 3 elite level elves. According to the data, Jiuo Yuan's next elf is likely to be a staff-tailed scaly armored dragon, which is also a complete quasi-god elf. Zhang Xingyun looked at the data on his phone and thought to himself, for their generation, it should be considered very good to have 3 elite level elves. So Zhang Xingyun guessed that Jiuo Yuan's remaining elves are likely to be staff-tailed scaly armored dragons. 2 dragon-type elves. This Jiuo Yuan is not a small person. The director of the Education Bureau seems to have the surname Jiuo. The Jiuo family, Changning Jiuo or Shensheng Jiuo? It should be the Changning Jiuo family. Zhang Xingyun looked at the competition on the stage with a thoughtful look on his face. Hey, what are your chances of winning against Jiuo Yuan? Nangang Yeo's voice came through the telepathy. In a normal battle, it's 50 to 50. Zhang Xingyun thought for a while and replied. He was not arrogant, but had roughly calculated it. Oh. What about you? If I can deal with that Jenga, I'm very sure I can win. Nangang Yeo replied with a very confident tone. Great. Hahaha, you too. After communicating a few words through telepathy, the two began to watch the game. Zhang Xingyun's clawsman was naturally not allowed to play. If it could play, Zhang Xingyun dared to say that he would definitely win the prize. There is a rule, when guardian Pokémon are captured, that is, after being captured by a trainer, they cannot participate in the competition within 1 year. So clawsman is impossible to play, and with Zhang Xingyun's pride, he would not let it go. Their direct trainer Pokémon are all registered. Nangang Yeo must be similar. In the battle on the stage, Boscadora used fierce attacks to cover Jenga, and Jenga still couldn't resist, and lost its ability to fight. Jenga used the same life skill, but this Boscadora's vitality and defense were too high. It was only seriously injured by the same life skill, and did not lose its combat ability. The effect of the same life move in the game is that when the opponent is attacked and falls into a state of near death, the opponent will also fall into a state of near death. In reality, it has a similar effect, but Aoskadora's defense and vitality are too strong. It was just seriously injured and did not lose its combat ability like Jenga. The final point is here. Zhang summoned his ace spirit, which was not unexpected by Zhang Xingyun. The Aoskadora had a great chance of winning against the seriously injured Aoskadora. At the beginning, Aoskadora could only rely on its own defense to compete with the Aoskadora. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that it was only a matter of time before Aoskadora lost. After more than 5 minutes, Aoskadora lay on the field and fainted. It tried its best. If it had not been seriously injured by Jenga, it would still have hope against the Aoskadora. After a last-ditch effort, he still failed. Boskadora has lost his ability to fight, and the winner is Zhang Xingyun. Zhang Xingyun. We must win. We must win. The students of number 1 middle school cheered for him excitedly. This was also their home court. For a while, everyone in the battle hall was shouting his name, which was quite impressive. Zhang turned his head and looked at Zhang Xingyun, nodded at the two of them, and Zhang Xingyun responded with a smile. The champion was decided among the three of them. At this time, there were also several people dressed as vendors approaching the blocks of each school. Suddenly, something unexpected happened. Boom boom boom. My eyes. What the hell is going on? Why is there an explosion here? Hurry up, hahaha. Red-faced dragon, sky dragon, meteor. King swallow, fierce storm. Arbok, poison needle cover. After a few explosions, the scene suddenly got out of control, and people's screams, curses and other noisy sounds filled the battle hall. Chapter 246 Chaotic Scene. The sudden attack also made the crowd panic. After seeing the injured people around them, many people could not sit still. They stood up and rushed to the door. People squeezed each other, and some even fell down. The scene was suddenly in a panic and out of control. How dare you come here to act wild? A strong voice came from the rostrum. With a bang, a fire-breathing dragon with many scars on its body rushed out carrying an old man. There were several corpses lying beside the rostrum. Everyone be quiet, we are here. Please calm down. I'm the captain of the first search team. Everyone listen carefully. Please calm down to avoid accidental injuries. Haha, then you calm down first. Die. Maryan, pull up. Damn it, come out. Windy dog. Boom boom boom. Not only this place, but many places were attacked at the same time. Where is King Lin going? Why don't you fight with me? A sound of air explosion came from behind Principal Lin, but Principal Lin was well prepared and started fighting. With a bang, the air wave was like a tide. The people below were also affected by the fluctuations caused by the battle of the King Elf. Zhang Xingyun was also affected. A wave of air rushed over, causing the giant claw mantis and Arbok to retreat a few steps. There were not only giant claw mantis and Arbok on the field, but the desert dragonfly in the sky was also dealing with several tokens. There were also fragments of special bombs on the ground nearby. Just now, a few vendors pushing carts came over. After Zhang Xingyun sensed it, he did not find any danger and did not pay attention to it. But when Chen Yu and several girls went forward to buy things, Zhang Xingyun saw the man's face and realized that something was wrong. Fortunately, Nangang Yao went with him. At the critical moment, she used teleportation to move the two people next to her away, but the three people were also affected, especially Nangang Yao, whose blood and ki was shaken, and she vomited blood on the spot. Seeing this, everyone also launched a counterattack, but the three people who attacked included a Qua-seeking level and 2 elite levels, and the situation was very bad. Zhang Xingyun did not expect that the rocket team would dare to do this, and it succeeded! Exclamation mark. The incident happened suddenly, and everyone's heads were buzzing. Fortunately, Zhang Xingyun and Nangang Yao sent out giant claws mantis and desert dragonfly, plus 2 accompanying teachers, and barely resisted, but the situation was also very dangerous. You are worthy of being a capable person, a talent. I love to kill genius students the most. A burly and strong man looked at Zhang Xingyun, and others with a playful look in his eyes. Boss, the alarm sounded. We have to retreat. Is there no time? No. The little minions on the side said, with a red dot flashing on his shoulder. You're lucky. After the three of them took back the elves, they threw something the size of a steel ball at Zhang Xingyun and the others, and then their figures flashed and disappeared. Not only them, but also the other members of the rockets on the field also disappeared one after another. Come as you want, leave as you want. The night demon stopped them. A tall and strong night demon appeared beside Elderlin, with red light flickering in his eyes. An inexplicable fluctuation appeared in the space and rushed towards the night demon. The night demon closed his eyes and screamed in pain. Champion spirit. Guys, come out, charge. Elderlin roared. His king level night demon had been severely injured in the previous attack, and the champion spirit was indispensable. Teacher has a champion spirit. I know. I'll go over and intercept it. I'll leave it to you here. Teacher, be careful. Elderlin led the elves and rushed in one direction quickly. Hey, I'm not going to play with you guys anymore. Want to leave? Stay here. Hey, you can't stop me. Fights also broke out in other places in Changning City. At this time, Ling Feng was also fighting with someone in the sky above Changning City. The man who was fighting with Ling Feng faked a shot and then fled. After chasing him for a while, Ling Feng rushed to number 1 middle school. When Ling Feng arrived at number 1 middle school, the situation had calmed down. The injured were also being treated. There were more than 10 corpses on the side. Judging from their attire, they were members of the rocket team. In addition, there were also people on the other side. How is it? How are the casualties? Ling Feng walked to a person wearing an investigator's uniform and asked. Hello, Chief Investigator. The casualties are counted. This time, 169 people were injured and 35 died. Among the dead, 8 were students. It was the attack of the rocket team. The cause of the attack is unknown. This person was the captain, who was reporting to Ling Feng. After listening to this, Ling Feng looked very unhappy. Looking at the people who were still crying, he clenched his fists. How dare they do that? Ling Feng was a little confused. What was the purpose of the rockets doing this? Didn't they know that there would be strong people watching during the game? What was their purpose? How did they perform it? Why did it happen like this? For a moment, Ling Feng's heart was full of doubts. Why are there only a dozen rockets members on the field? Ling Feng asked. They were killed on the spot, and 5 of them were controlled by us. It shouldn't be. There must be more than this number of people to cause such a scale. Let me answer this. This time, the champion elf was involved. Director Guo, with blood on his sleeves, came to Ling Feng and spoke. Champion? Yes, it was the champion. My teacher also rushed over. These few people were left behind when my teacher rushed over. Director Guo explained, stood side by side with Ling Feng, and was alert to the surroundings. Beep, beep. Ling Feng's combat watch rang, and after 1 o'clock, an anxious voice rang out from it. The museum is under attack. Requesting support. Requesting support. Old Guo, old Lin will be here soon. You stay here. I'll go over and take a look. Okay. The Charizard carried Ling Feng up into the sky and rushed to the museum. The museum in Changning City had collected a lot of good things a while ago. Ling Feng couldn't be sure of their purpose, but he had to stop them. After Ling Feng left, old Lin fell to the ground in a somewhat embarrassed manner, and the Charizard under him was also covered in wounds. Teacher, are you okay? I'm fine, just a few minor injuries. Old Lin took out medicine from the space, took it himself first, then took out some other medicine, and dealt with the Charizard. I went to intercept them, 8 against 1. Although I was injured, I was able to fight back. By the way, how were the casualties this time? Teacher, this time there were 35 dead and 169 injured, and the losses have not been calculated. Alas, I'm still incompetent. Teacher, you have tried your best. If it weren't for your obstruction, the casualties would have been even greater. Alas. Thank God, you are all fine. Looking at Nidoking and several elves in front of him, Zhang Xingyun breathed a sigh of relief. In the turmoil just now, Nidoking and the others were in the medical room. It's so chaotic here, and the medical room must not be much better. Fortunately, Nidoking and the others stood safely in front of him. Chapter 247. The league ends early. Later, Vice Principal Wang also arrived. After seeing them, he also breathed a sigh of relief. He was just dragged by the rocket team members and fought to a farther place. The elf was also seriously injured. After the battle ended, he spent some time to rush over. Teacher Wang, is everyone okay? Looking at Zhang Xingyun and the others, the only ones with pale faces were Nangang Yao and the other 3 girls. After counting the number of people carefully, he found that everyone was there and thought to himself, God bless you. Fortunately, only Nangang and 2 classmates were injured, and the others were fine. This time we have to thank Nangang and Xingyun, because with their help, we can resist the attack of the rocket team. Have you dealt with it? If not, let the students deal with it quickly. Yes. Wang Yu replied. That's good. After Wen Qingxiang finished speaking, he walked in front of everyone and comforted them. After comforting them for a while, he was called away. After telling everyone to be careful, he passed. Now it has calmed down, but the aftermath problem is a headache for them. After Wen Qingxiang came back, he said to Zhang Xingyun and the others, this competition ends here. Let's go back first. Zhang Xingyun and the others had no objection. After a little cleaning, they passed the crowd and got on the bus. They saw many injured people and some dead people. Zhang Xingyun looked normal, but the faces of several classmates in the class turned pale. They almost died, and they were terrified just thinking about it. The parking lot was not affected. After checking several times, no problems were found, so they let everyone get on. I'm really sorry to all the students and the 2 teachers this time. It was supposed to be a good thing, but I didn't expect it to be like this. After the bus started for a while, Wen Qingxiang said apologetically. Zhang Xingyun and the others also replied, it's okay. Wen Qingxiang also asked about the specific details of the incident, and Wang Yu and the others told them truthfully. Zhang Xingyun and Nangang Yao were also praised. Wen Qingxiang also told everyone about the attack. This attack was a big one. There were 2 kings who participated in it. It was said that there was also a champion elf. There were about 10 Sea kings. Otherwise, it would not have caused such a big commotion. After listening to it, Zhang Xingyun wondered what the purpose of the rockets was. If they had known that there would be many masters present during the battle, how could they dare to do this? It was not right to create panic. Thinking about it carefully, it was not right. The last Changning King battle was no smaller than this one. Zhang Xingyun thought about it for a while, but couldn't figure it out. He simply stopped thinking about it. No matter what, it was not his turn to worry about it now. The big guys would worry about it. What he had to do now was to strengthen his strength. Only with strength could he cope with all changes. After getting off the bus at number 9 middle school, Principal Li Yuning came over to comfort them and let them go back first. There was no celebration banquet or anything like that because they didn't have the heart to do it. After leaving the school, Zhang Xingyun also had a box in his space. This was his reward for this competition. It turned out that when Wen Qingxiang was called, the Education Bureau let him take the reward first. This competition ended early, but all the students who participated in it received a reward, but the rewards for Nangang Yao and Zhang Xingyun were much better. After returning home, he asked all the elves to come out, and Zhang Xingyun took out the box that Wen Qingxiang gave him, and opened it to look at it. One 10,000 merit card, one 3 million bonus card, one high-level firestone, and 5 boxes of high-level energy blocks and hay. Merit points and elf coins are naturally the more the better, and this high-level firestone is naturally not used at present, so it can be put aside for now. As for this high-level energy block, looking at its description, it is also known that it is for water elves, and the Squirtle in the team can just use it. 5 boxes are enough for a while, and I believe that the speed at which Squirtle's strength improves will also increase a lot. This competition started off well but ended badly, but the rewards were good. You have to know that there is no place to buy this high-level cultivation resource. In a store of this size like the Dragon Domain store, you can only see these at auctions except for the anniversary celebration. After Zhang Xingyun put away his things, he stood up and walked to the open space near the house, called the elves over, and discussed this competition. Zhang Xingyun pointed out their shortcomings one by one, and then proposed the direction of change. It is not very convenient in the rest area. It is just right to end the battle at this time to make a summary. After speaking, He also made a new training plan on the side. The gains of this competition are not just these rewards. The combat experience gained by the elves is also very valuable. The elves in this battle are all cultivated by trainers. Unlike the good and bad elves in the wild, there are still things to learn. Otherwise, Zhang Xingyun would not go to school occasionally. In addition to relaxing, he also let the elves learn from Yi Crossing and other elves. In the wild, you don't just fight with wild elves, sometimes you have to fight with humans. Who are okay, let's do it tomorrow. I'm tired today. Who are after several games, who ED has gained a lot and has reached a critical value. It's time to evolve. In this league, all of Zhang Xingyun's Pokémons have played, including young Kyrus and Baby Dragon. With the current strength, Zhang Xingyun is not afraid that someone will come to snatch them. Elite level now is not a big threat to Zhang Xingyun. The ones who are threatening must be Qua-seeking level, but don't forget that he is a capable person. Ordinary Qua-seeking level can't stop him. If he goes hunting in the wild alone and disguises himself, who can recognize him? Hey boo I know, I'm ready. The next one is you. You have to work hard and don't let Squirtle surpass you. Hey boo the place where Electabuzz failed this time was the battle against the elegant cat. The rest was fine, and he performed as bravely as ever. The elegant cat was able to confuse the energetic Electrifier from the very beginning, which was also very powerful. Zhang Xingyun also intervened, but the Electrifier was still confused for a few seconds. This also made Zhang Xingyun know that this aspect needs to be strengthened. The elegant cat can do this, and in this regard, there must be similar or even more powerful elves in the wild. Especially the ghost type. The ability to confuse is even stronger, and the cost of being careless is unbearable. They love to absorb life energy the most. After summarizing, Zhang Xingyun went back to the house and made a rich dinner to celebrate this half victory league. Chapter 248 Flower Leaf Stem Evolution. Hey, Nangang, how are you? After dinner, Zhang Xingyun, who was sitting on the sofa, thought of Nangang Yeo who was injured during the day, so he picked up his phone and sent a message to express his condolences. Yeah, I'm fine. Nangang Yeo's voice also came from the phone, and her voice seemed to have recovered. It was too dangerous today. Fortunately, you reacted quickly, classmate. By the way, why can't I sense it with my ability? Is there some trick to this? Zhang Xingyun was a little confused. Why couldn't he sense the bomb in today's sudden attack? It's probably a special bomb, wrapped in a specific metal, which can block the prying of us with abilities. Nangang Yeo thought for a while and said slowly, then, wouldn't our abilities be very vulnerable to being targeted? Not necessarily. In this world, although the ability users are very strong, they are not invincible. Human technology is still very powerful. The metal we use today can only shield people with abilities of our level. If our abilities are higher, it will be useless. As for the materials that can shield people with higher abilities, they are very rare and expensive. So, the rockets have also spent a lot of money today. Zhang Xingyun replied. According to Nangang Yeo, even if this metal can shield people with abilities of their level, the cost will not be low. You can also say that. In short, people with abilities are not invincible. Just be careful. In addition to this metal, there are other means. Just because you don't know, doesn't mean there are none. Nangang Yeo's tone was a little serious, emphasizing the safety issue. Thank you for your reminder. I will be careful in the future. By the way, you'd better stay in the city these days, and don't go out hunting. I'm sure the government will not keep quiet about this attack, and will start soon. Nangang Yeo warned. Okay, I know. My flower petal will also evolve in the next few days, and I don't have time to go out hunting in the wild. Congratulations. Yeah. After chatting for a while, Zhang Xingyun hung up the phone. He still got a lot of useful information from Nangang Yeo. Special metal? No matter what strength you have, you can't be arrogant. There are always people better than you. I have to be stronger. Zhang Xingyun looked thoughtful and thought to himself. After tidying up, he sat on the bed and started practicing. The next day, the sky was white, and there was a sound of a flying elf flying outside the window. Zhang Xingyun opened his eyes and exhaled a breath of turbid air. After a night of practice, his strength improved a little. Zhang Xingyun exerted his body, and crackling sounds were heard. After the exercise, he opened the door and went into the bathroom to wash. After a simple morning training and breakfast as usual, Zhang Xingyun brought the elves to the elf club. Once again came to the familiar training room. The staff here are all familiar with him, knowing that he often comes here to train Pokémon. Release the Pokémon, guide the training one by one, and watch from the side. When it is roughly done, go to the next one. There are more Pokémon, and there are more to train, and as a trainer, he has more to do. The content of the training must be reasonable, and it cannot be trained casually, so it is not easy to be a trainer. At this time, Huoyed was soaking in a container filled with purple solution, and purple light particles were all around Huoyed's body. What Huoyed is soaking now is the Dark Moon Essence, which is not low in price. It is the most suitable treasure for Huoyed calculated by the system, which has the effect of improving qualifications and increasing the understanding of fairy Pokémon. After instructing Yunkarus and the others, Zhang Xingyun also came to Huoyed. After seeing Huoyed's appearance, he took out a gem that exuded brilliant light from the space and used his ability to transport it to Huoyed's side. Flower as if attracted by the flower leaf pedicle, a ray of light emerged from the fairy gem, and together with the purple halo, it surrounded the body of the flower leaf pedicle. The flower leaf pedicle also made a joyful sound. These treasures are very beneficial to it. Zhang Xingyun also walked to the other machines, and after a few operations, a number of hazy, moonlight-like rays of light wrapped the flower leaf pedicle in them. After Zhang Xingyun took out his mobile phone to check the time, he looked at the flower leaf pedicle quietly and encouraged it. Come on, flower leaf pedicle, try your best to absorb more, it will be very good for you, come on. Flower at this time, the flower leaf pedicle seemed to be in a flower of light, and its cry came from inside. Zhang Xingyun took out a large jar from the space, scooped out the purple powder from it, and spread it on the ground. After spreading it, he looked back at the flower leaf pedicle. The brilliant fairy gem had been worn out by half, and the flower leaf pedicle seemed to have reached the critical value. Zhang Xingyun's eyes flashed white light, and he moved Huoyed to the prepared place, and also took the half fairy gem. Then he took out the top level light stone that he had prepared long ago, and suspended it not far above Huoyed's head. As soon as the light stone approached, a ball of dazzling light spread out, and this ball of light also wrapped Huoyed in it. Huoyed also began to evolve. Come on, Huoyed, absorb more. Looking at Huoyed in the light ball, Zhang Xingyun murmured, Huoyed's qualifications are relatively poor, so this evolution is very important. Nidonado Hebu Hassan. The elves also stopped training and watched Huoyed's evolution. In the light ball, Huoyed's figure slowly grew up, and when it was about 1.6 meters, it stopped growing. I know that Madame Huoji in the game is 1.1 meters tall. The author thinks she is too short. I feel she is taller than that in the anime. Soon the light of evolution faded away, and a brand new elf appeared in front of Zhang Xingyun. Congratulations, Madame Huoji. Madame Huoji's voice was very gentle. She called to Zhang Xingyun, her eyes full of gratitude. Madame Huoji looked like an anthropomorphic flower. The lower part of her body had a structure similar to stems and leaves, and her head looked like a flower. Depending on the different forms, the color of the flowers and body of Madame Huoji would also change. Madame Huoji had a slender body and looked like a human woman. Nidonado Hebu B. The elves were all congratulating Madame Huoji. They were also very happy to see that Madame Huoji had successfully evolved. Their fourth sister/fourth elder sister had successfully evolved, and their healing ability must have also been enhanced. With the fourth sister/fourth elder sister, they could train harder and no longer worry about not having treatment. Chapter 249, Madame Huoji and Action. Yunkarus ran to Madame Huoji's feet, calling Yunkarus, Yunkarus. Flower Madame Huoji's energy flashed, and several bright flowers grew around Yunkarus, like magic. Yunkarus flowers grew at the feet of Nidoking and Giant Claw Mantis, emitting the unique fragrance of flowers. Madame Huoji is quite amazing. Flower Madame Huoji smiled a few times, and then, like magic, a bunch of bright and fragrant flowers emerged from her hands, and she handed it to Zhang Xingyun. Ha ha ha, then I'll accept it. Flower Madame Huaji was also very happy when she saw Zhang Xingyun accept her flowers. Cammy Young Kiris Betty the three little ones started playing in the flowers, and Zhang Xingyun opened the system and checked Madame Huaji's information. Name, Lady Huaji, female, attribute, fairy qualification, deep blue characteristics, flower curtain strength, elite initial skills, impact, vine whip, leaf knife, charm, grass festival, aromatherapy, energy ball, fairy wind, sunlight flame, illusion. Qualification came to the deep blue color, and it lived up to the resources that Zhang Xingyun had invested since he conquered it. With the current deep blue qualification, it is also possible to reach the level of the king in the future. When it met Huayi, it was only a deep yellow qualification. With the help of Zhang Xingyun, it grew into the current Lady Huaji. After a while, the young Kiris were driven away by Zhang Xingyun for training, leaving Lady Huaji to display the power after evolution. Flower Lady Huaji also displayed its moves, such as Mist Field, Green Grass Field, Petal Dance, Moon Power, etc. The effect presented also made Zhang Xingyun very satisfied. Not bad, not bad. I have a guess. Can you use the vines to weave into a cover in a very short time? Moreover, Zhang Xingyun said his guess, which can be regarded as a guess of a combination of skills. So the key point is the speed of replacement of moves, and the strength problem. For example, the growth of vines can use the energy of the green grass field, and, after listening to Zhang Xingyun's idea, Madame Huaji started training according to the instructions. After watching Madame Huaji train for a while, he also corrected a few times, and then walked over to Baby Dragon to guide Baby Dragon. When Zhang Xingyun was training elves in the elf club, Ling Feng and a dozen people with extraordinary temperament were sitting in a large conference room for a meeting. Among the dozen people, there were the newly promoted four kings, Li Zhu and Long Zhao, as well as Cheng Ying, and others from Biguan City. In the middle, there were three grey-haired old men. The old man in the lead was energetic, with sharp eyes and an unfathomable aura. The three of them are champions sent by the central government, and they are also the main persons in charge of this Thunder Plan. The attack in Changling City caused the central government to be furious. Now, King Guang sent more than 10 people, including 2 of the 4 heavenly kings, and 3 champions to annihilate the rocket team and other dark forces in the South Vietnam province and launch the Thunder Operation. There is a secret base of the rocket team in the Bishan district of Shenzhen, and there is also one in the suburbs of Dongguan City, and there are also in the South China Sea Islands. The old man sitting in the middle of the conference room listed the secret bases of the rocket team like a treasure. These are all members lurking in the rocket team. The information sent by the government is not that nothing has been done. The rocket team can lurk here in the government, and the government will also have corresponding means to lurk there. This time, we have to wipe out the enemy at the same time, so we will divide the troops into 4 groups. The 4 groups will be led by Elder Deng, Elder Pei, me, Long Zhao and Li Zhu. Do you have any objections? No, everyone said in unison. The old man nodded with satisfaction, and then said, let's set off in an hour without further ado. Yes. Ling Feng and several others stood up, and replied yes straightly. An hour later, including Ling Feng, 3 kings, 1 champion, and more than 20 quasi-king level trainers rushed to the direction of Shenzhen. Not bad, not bad. The information this time is very comprehensive. Send the remaining money to Black Bear. A man with a gentle appearance, wearing glasses and a white coat, looked at the computer with satisfaction, and said to a subordinate next to him. He is a member of the rocket team lurking in Shenzhen. He specializes in processing some high-tech information in Shenzhen, and has provided a lot of technology to the rocket team. Okay, boss, the subordinate said, and then walked down, his eyes flashing with inexplicable colors. After entering a room, he took out a machine, and clicked a few times, and then his figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. In this base, there are several people like him, who disappeared on the spot together. Outside, Pei Yongxing, Ling Feng and others have come to the outside of this underground base, each holding a map in their hands. Are you ready? How are the masses? Reporting to the chief, the surrounding area has been blocked by military exercises. A soldier replied. In addition to him, there are two Xian Wang strongmen in military uniforms, who are Xian Wang level strongmen stationed in Shenzhen. Okay, let's act, Pei Yangxing said, throwing out two Pokémon trees, and two 4-meter tall Bangiras appeared on the field. These two Bangiras look extremely fierce, with scars all over their bodies, adding a bit of ferocity. Dance. Ban, the two Bangiras roared, both of them causing a sandstorm. Whoosh rustle, suddenly, the sky was filled with yellow sand. With the two Bangiras as the center, the surrounding 10 kilometers were in a yellow sandstorm area. Ling Feng and others were in different places, and they were still very nervous, even though they were far away. Their elves were a little restless, but they were relatively stable under their own comfort. With a loud bang, a 300-meter high building was uprooted and swept into the sandstorm. A blue ball of light shot out from the building into the sky, competing with Bangilas for the weather. HMPH, the big class and the second class increase their efforts. Class soon, the blue ball of light was annihilated in the yellow sand, and the flying yellow sand became more violent, like the end of the world. There is another champion level Golduck. It seems that this place is also very important to them. Greek, come out and kill it for me. With a dragon roar, a figure rushed forward quickly. Ice, deathlight, dragon energy, and water energy all burst out in the sandstorm. After a while, with a scream, the champion level Golduck was killed on the spot. The flying sandstorm also stopped for a few times, and then started to move again, continuing to cover this place. Therefore, when the battle broke out, several figures escaped from the base. Pei Yangxing ignored it, and looked at the fleeing figure with cold eyes. After the battle, fluctuations were heard in the distance. They soon subsided. Chapter 250 Lecture. The country's actions were not Zhang Xingyun's daily life. When they were fighting, he was eating delicious food in a restaurant with the elves. It was a celebration of Madame Huaji's successful evolution and the end of this league. Zhang Xingyun looked at his phone and saw a few big words on the interface, saying that a senior breeder would give a lecture tonight. This surprised Zhang Xingyun very much. You know, this is a senior breeder. In addition to theoretical knowledge, senior breeders must also be able to make 6 different types of high-level energy blocks. Zhang Xingyun immediately grabbed a spot. After joining the association for so long, he saw such a senior breeder giving a lecture. Usually, some intermediate breeders were paid to answer questions or give lectures. Great, so I have the opportunity to ask that breeder questions, which can solve many of my problems. Zhang Xingyun said with surprise. He has been studying the high-level energy block Yuanling for a long time, but he still hasn't made it completely. In some details, he still doesn't understand it. If he relies on himself to explore, it will take a lot of time, and he will accidentally go in the wrong direction. Zhang Xingyun was thinking, if he still can't figure it out in the next month, then he can exchange a set of advanced energy blocks in the system to comprehend it, but the energy value is a very large number. After getting the formula of this energy block, Zhang Xingyun felt that it was not necessary, but it seemed too difficult at the moment. In order for undertaking and the others to grow faster, this must be made. Are you full? Let's go if you are full. After packing up a little, he went to pay the bill and then went home. After returning home, it was already 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and there was a lecture at 8 o'clock in the evening. Let the elves move freely. Zhang Xingyun came to the study, turned on the computer in the study, and now there was still some time, so he browsed the latest news first. Ding ding ding, picked up the phone and saw that it was a message in the class group, roughly about the winter vacation, and pay attention to some problems. Then Nangang Yeo also sent a message, and Zhang Xingyun chatted with her. As expected, the government has launched a big move today to wipe out many locations of Team Rocket. This time, the champion has taken action. Picture Zhang Xingyun clicked on it and saw the power of changing the world from the comparison of the pictures. Champion level elves can already change the natural environment of one side, but Zhang Xingyun was still amazed to see that several mountains were flattened and turned into deserts. Picture. Then Nangang Yeo sent several more pictures, including thousands of feet high waves and blazing flames of a blazing fire. This made him amazed, and he secretly said, the champions have the power to change the world, so what about the beasts? So I'll stay in the city for the next few days. I don't know what the rockets will react to. Anyway, it's always better to be careful. Okay. Zhang Xingyun believed the message sent by Nangan Yeo. After many times of cooperation, the two regarded each other as very good friends. In addition, they were both capable people and deskmates, so they had a lot in common. So Nangan Yeo has been giving him advice recently, and she has been telling him a lot of news, which has given Zhang Xingyun a lot of insights. And Zhang Xingyun would also help her solve some small problems, such as telling her his own insights in cultivation. After chatting for a while, he continued to browse the official website of the cultivators and check the experience of the senior cultivator who was giving a lecture tonight. Zhu Mingting, member of the Imperial Capital Cultivation Association, professor of the Cultivation Department of Imperial Capital University, head of the Cultivation Group of the Academy of Sciences. A long list of titles was seen after checking, and it can be seen that this cultivator is also very famous in this field. Zhang Xingyun was looking forward to the evening lecture even more. Time soon came to 8 o'clock in the evening, and Zhang Xingyun entered the channel a few minutes in advance and watched it. At 8 o'clock, a serious looking man with grey hair, who looked like a knowledgeable old scholar, appeared on the computer. Hello everyone, I'm Zhu Mingting, a member of the Imperial Capital Cultivation Association. Today, I will tell you about my experience. I hope you can learn from it. I will set aside an hour for you to ask questions. Everyone can hear it and learn from each other. A deep and powerful voice came from Zhu Mingting on the screen, and then the barrage was all saying thank you for your hard work, Teacher Zhu. Okay, let's not waste time. Let's talk about some knowledge of the cultivator. As we all know, we cultivators have to deal with medical treatment, nutrition, drugs, etc. First of all, let's talk about the important thing, which is to make energy blocks. Zhu Mingting is also a vigorous and resolute person. After briefly introducing himself, he started talking. His voice was neither fast nor slow, and his loud and clear voice made everyone hear it clearly. Zhang Xingyun listened to the knowledge he talked about and gained a lot. He nodded repeatedly and took notes on the side. Time was spent in listening attentively. Zhu Mingting lived up to his status and spoke very well, using easy to understand language to explain the profound and difficult cultivation knowledge, including many knowledge points related to the production of advanced energy blocks. Zhang Xingyun gained a lot. Okay, now the remaining hour is left for you to answer questions. Now in this channel, you can post all your questions within 5 minutes. 3 questions per person is best. I will randomly select and reply. After speaking, the barrage filled the entire screen, and Zhu Mingting, who was far away in the Imperial capital, looked at the sorted questions and selected a few characteristic questions from them. Okay, 5 minutes are up. Let me answer the questions. First, is it possible to make an energy block that contains 2 energies? My answer is yes, but the requirements are relatively high. It may not appear on the market now, but there are already breeders studying it, including me. Take Super Energy Plus Fairy as an example. If you want to make an energy block that combines these 2 energies, you have to balance these 2 energies and not have any internal friction. My suggestion is to wait until you can make a high level energy block before trying it. This is also my own suggestion. Then, Zhu Mingting explained the questions one by one. 2 of the 3 questions submitted by Zhang Xingyun were raised and explained, which made Zhang Xingyun suddenly realize and finally understand why. It may be that the questions he raised are representative, so 2 of them were raised. Zhang Xingyun was not in a hurry for the remaining 1, because after understanding the other 2 questions, he also roughly knew why he could reverse it. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.